so original. Follow my dreams until I reach the coast. Hypocritical. Never took a second to breathe the ocean air. All those years surround me, blind eyes and no memories, living life at high speeds. Never took the time of day, cut the take for scenery. Enjoy never stays, 'cause I'm moving too quickly, yeah. Unbelievable. I put my life on hold for nevermore. Ooh. Underneath it all, and go a lot of places I don't see at all. While the sun was shining, in silver linings, I'm not living my dreams. Never took the time to cut the take for scenery. Enjoy never stays, 'cause I'm moving too quickly, yeah. Your light speed, there's nothing, 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 nothing to see. Your light speed, there's nothing, 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 nothing to see. Your light speed, there's nothing, 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 nothing to see. Your light speed, there's nothing, 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 nothing to see. I'm moving too quickly, yeah. Been so long, I'll never die till kingdom come. So damn long, is ever long from it all. I'm scared of death, but I can't help but think that I could really live a better life. Don't wait for me, don't wait for me, I'm fine. I just keep wasting all this time. And poison parasites. They don't even hide. They multiply, they swarm until they get into my mind. Guess it's how to fly. Oh, I gotta go. My feet up too slow. I'm not in control. Oh, all the wrong faces in all the wrong places. They left me so jaded. Oh. Desensitized, my nerves are burned by all the constant lies. They don't even hide. I'm paralyzed. The life I got was not as advertised. Leave it all behind. Oh, I gotta go. My feet up too slow. I'm not in control. Oh, all the wrong faces in all the wrong places. They left me so jaded. Oh. Penny for your thoughts, cause I'm a millionaire. Try to pay you off, but you don't really care. Wish I could see straight through ya, right underneath everything and fool ya. Shoot straight, not blank, some kind of hell. Go round and round in a carousel. You got me dizzy, tripping, falling on the ground. Yeah, you're a blank page, I'm a white canvas. Who knows what we could be together? Wet paint caught you red-handed. Who knows if this'll be forever? Run me under watercolors. Okay, let me be candid. This won't be forever. Maybe this is love, maybe melodrama. Maybe you're the one or you'll back karma. Well, you could be my vice, yeah. All that I need, everything I like, yeah. Shoot straight, no blank, some kind of hell. Go round and round in a carousel. You got me dizzy, tripping, falling on the ground. Oh, you're a blank page, I'm a white canvas. Who knows what we could be together? Wet paint caught you red-handed. Who knows if this'll be forever? Run me under watercolors. Okay, let me be candid. This won't be forever. No high, no chase. Can't say I never was honest. Lights on, no games, I know I'll win. Oh, you're a blank page, I'm a white canvas. Who knows what we could be together? Wet paint caught you red-handed. Who knows if this'll be forever? Run me
Hello. I am here. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Maybe that's better? I'm like really quiet apparently. I think. Am I quiet? Or am I fine? I'm looking at the audio capture and it's like, it looks a little quieter than usual to me. Oof. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. How's it going? Hi, Rolf. Hello, hello, hello. I love you very much. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, sorry. I just keep pushing this later and later. Maybe a little. Let me see. What about now? How about now? Has it changed at all? Just don't know. I can't tell what I'm doing. Is it making me louder or quieter? I hope it's making me louder and not quieter. But it's hard to tell. Big oofs. Maybe if I do that. Nah, it still kind of seems the same. No, that's not true, Rolf. I love hanging out with you. I just don't love being up this early. I say early, but it's like midday. But I don't like being up around this time. I want to sleep. Want to sleep in, that's all. But I always love hanging out with you, Rolf. And I love playing games with you on Mondays. It's the whole reason I get up when I do. Otherwise, I would just sleep. But yeah. It's just crazy. But yeah, having to go to work right after the stream is always bleh. But luckily, Tuesdays are the day where I don't have to be at work until 3:45, so usually it kind of works out in the end. I just sleep in on Tuesday, and then also I have Wednesday off. Though on Wednesdays, I usually have to get up a bit. Not like... Well, no, because I think we normally do it at around 4, so never mind. But, like, a lot of times on Wednesdays is when we watch some of the latest episodes of King Oger, like me, Rolf, and Lulu. I mean, me, Ralph, and Lulu. Yeah, because Ralph, like, hosts it, and Lulu and I watch it. And so then I get up on Wednesdays for that. But yeah, which actually... We were making plans for this Wednesday to do, because normally we, like, since it's a weekly show, we, like, wait for a couple episodes to build up, and then we just, like, watch it all at once. And that's kind of, and we're thinking about maybe this upcoming Wednesday watching 4 episodes in a row, or 3 episodes, I should say, because we have 4 episodes on the back burner, but I prefer to kind of be behind one so that Ralph can watch it with Helen, the latest episode, because they're watching it as it's like coming out, and so kind of just leaving one on the back burner for next time. So there's like currently 3 episodes Lulu and I haven't seen, so we'll probably watch that like this upcoming Wednesday. We'll see. I need to let Lulu know, though. Yeah. I can't tell if I am quiet or not. I'm like looking at my audio capture and I'm like, am I quiet? Am I fine? I can't tell. Advanced properties. Strange. Maybe... I have no idea. It sounds fine to you? Okie doke. That's good. And I'll just leave it at that for now then. I never know. Audio is so hard. But yeah, the horrors of scheduling group things. It's so true. Everybody has their own schedules and things that they're trying to do. So it's pretty difficult. But yeah. But it's all worth it to see my favorite boy, Spiders Jeremy. I love him so much. I love him so much. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can get a picture of him. All my photos of him are like on my phone, so I don't have like any on here. Want to showcase my boy? As soon as he like appeared, like immediately everyone was like, that's the Anya boy of the show. And I'm like, you know, you're right. You're right. I hate it, but you're right. Oh my gosh. Okay, I found a good image. I'm gonna save image. Instant Anya boy, exactly. Ah! My mic just fell for a second. But yeah, it was just so funny that everyone was like, he's also 6 Ranger. I feel like 99% of the time, my favorite Ranger in any like Super Sentai show is always gonna be like the 6th one. Like the tropes that are like associated with the 6th Ranger are just like, that's like Anya boy material tropes right there. Oh lord, the stream delay is several eons long. Oh no. Oh no. I know my connection is bad, but I guess it must be especially bad today. Doesn't surprise me, sadly. What is this image? I can't see it because this is in the way. What is this? Oh yeah, VN Night is canceled. What's this? Oh, I think this is the one I can use to... Yeah, there we go. Then... put that there. What the actual heck? Where did it go? What's this? No. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. There it is. There he is. My favorite boy. I love him. I love him so much every week when he comes back in a new episode. I'm like, I want to smooch his face. I love him. He's quickly become one of my favorite characters. I love him. Is his weapon an airbrush? It does kind of look like it. It's like you know what? It kind of is in a way. Because he does like shake it a lot, and like it's basically like a gun, but like a trick gun. Like he uses it to like cause illusions and stuff like that. So he can like shake it and like use it to cause like a mist that he can disappear into, and things like that. That prop is a modified airbrush. I mean, it really kind of is, because a lot of times he, as I said, he uses it to like create like a fog of mist that he can like disappear into and stuff. So it probably is. But yeah, I love him very much. I see him and I'm like, that's my favorite boy. I just want to smooch him on his cheek. I love him. So how evil is he? I would say not evil at all. He's absolutely one of the good guys from the beginning. No, like he's like one of the Anya boys that is not evil. I wouldn't say he's evil. He's definitely it's hard to explain, but he's not evil. He just he like his position on the team is a little odd at first, because so the main bad guys for the first season are the Bugnarok, which is like this subterranean species of creatures that are like, that look like giant bugs, basically. Why it's Bugnarok. And it's revealed that Jeremy here is like part human, part Bugnarok. So he's kind of like caught in the middle of the conflict, where like he just wants peace for both sides, but it's kind of hard considering all like the prejudice and like all that stuff that is between both sides. So there's that. But yeah, I love him very much. It was just so funny that as soon as he was first introduced, everyone was like, oh, there's the Anya boy. Like, even before he was introduced to, like, me and Lulu, Rolf, like, saw him and was like, oh, Anya's gonna love this guy until we finally get to this episode. And he became my favorite. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like, he basically is like Spider-Man in a way. Cause he also web swings and everything. Like, he's based off spiders. So he's basically like Spider-Man, but in Super Sentai. But yeah, so he is a White Ranger, but he's like the Sixth Ranger. So he has like a lot of the tropes involved with like the Sixth Ranger, you know, like you have like the starting group and then all of a sudden this guy comes in and you're not sure if you can trust him, but he's all of a sudden like more powerful than the rest of you. That sort of thing. Very typical Sixth Ranger stuff, you know. But yeah, he is... Isn't that typical for... I mean, it can be. I know the thing that started the trope, like the title, The Sixth Ranger, comes from the fact that the series that first inspired like, that was first used for Power Rangers. The Sixth Ranger was the Green Ranger. And so for the trope originator, it was a Green Ranger. I think in terms of the colors don't necessarily correspond to certain archetypes necessarily in Super Sentai. In the end, like, besides the Red Ranger is almost always, like, they're the pro tag, either hot-headed or super cool, one of those. But, like, the other ones can be a lot more varied, I think, in terms of who they are. But yeah, me talking as if I know anything despite having only seen Morphin as a small child, yeah. No worries, Rolf, no worries. I would definitely hear, like, Rolf, as I said, yeah, I remember correctly that the White Ranger Morphin was originally the Green Ranger, and then upgraded like Gandalf. Exactly. You know, that is right. You're absolutely right. So I as I said before, Rolf, I highly recommend you watch King Osier. Like, between you and me, if you look it up online, you can find it on Kiss Asian, all the episodes. I didn't say anything, though. You didn't hear it from me. But I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's so good. Like, the writing is on point. Like, this latest season of Super Sentai, they really just upped the writing quality. Like, they have gone all out with this season of Super Sentai. It's so good. It's so good. Mail order bride? What? I'm scared. I don't know what that is, and maybe I don't need to know. What the heck is that? I almost started typing it in to see what it is, and I was like, I don't know if I want that in my search history. No, I've never heard of it, Rolf. What the heck is... Yeah, I really love this man. But yeah, Ralph started getting us to watch it because he also has extreme brain rot for this series. And he's in love with the Yellow Ranger in it, which is Himeno-ran, who's like basically an Ojo-sama type, which is Ralph's MO. It's basically websites for women looking to move to Western countries offer to get married to sad, lonely men living in said countries. I see. I've never heard of that, but it makes sense. It makes sense. It's sad that we have to do a lot of these things. Like, I don't know. Like, as somebody who, like, has immigrant family members, including my mom and my siblings, like, it's definitely hard. But, anyways, enough of me gushing about my favorite boy ever, besides my other favorite boys ever. But my favorite boy in this show ever. Giving him big smooches. Mwah. It's time to smooch some other boys. There's also shadier ones that are basically, yeah, that that, like, sadly doesn't surprise me. It sadly doesn't surprise me. Oh, boy. But yeah, let me know when you're ready, Rolf. We're all about smooching boys here. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You love to see it. But yeah, it sadly really doesn't surprise me that there would be some shader ones out there. Actually, real quick, absolute left turn of an idea. Recently, I was, like, passing through the country, of course, to get to Kansas and back. And the weird thing was, I noticed that in Ohio, which is, one of the states here in the US, in Ohio, like, there is an insane amount of missing persons cases. Like, to the point where there's, like, whole articles and news sites and stuff talking about it. And while we were passing through Ohio, like, there were signs and stuff, like, talking about missing persons and all that. And it was really weird. And I looked it up and saw just, like, the numbers of missing persons cases just this year alone, and it's insane. I'm like, what's going on over there? And I mentioned it to my parents while we were driving, and they were like, it could be that there's, like, human trafficking going on over there or something. Very strange. Very strange. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, sadly, but also it was a very strange moment while driving during the trip, was just seeing, like, how many missing persons cases there are going on over there. Like, basically, if you look up, like, Ohio missing persons cases, like, you'll see tons of reports and stuff about that whole thing. Maybe it's aliens. I mean, you know, it could be. There's not enough evidence to say yes or no, I guess. It could be aliens. Honestly, if it were aliens, that would be much more fun than the more realistic options. That I will say that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rolf. There's some crazy numbers over there, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I literally only found out about it because, as I said, while we were driving through there were tons of signs about it. Yep. And I'm like, why? Why specifically Ohio? What's going on over there? Like, it's like specifically Ohio has, like, this really bad missing persons thing going on, and I don't know what's happening. It made it kind of, like, a little scary going through that state, which is, like, a weird thing to say about Ohio, of all places. But yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but there's definitely something going on over there, and it's not pretty. But yeah. Anyways, to get to more uplifting topics, I guess. Rolf, are you ready for more Color X Malices? For more of this visual novel? Actually gonna drink some coffee real quick. Yeah. At least this random website says 90% of missing kids are found. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Hey, Rolf.
Hello there.
Hello. Hello there. How's it going?
I'm alright.
Hecky.
How are you?
I'm doing good, just tired, as usual.
Of course.
Not enough sleep.
Only 12 hours.
Nah. Nah, it was like 8.5 hours that I got this night, which is, considered like the average amount of sleep you're supposed to get, and it's not enough for me.
Yeah. It also matters at what times you sleep, of course. But
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Very, very true. Because there has been times where, like, I'll go to bed early and sleep for a really long time and still feel tired when I wake up. Because it's, like, not my, like, body's natural hours of going to sleep and waking up.
yeah.
Whereas, like,
Just find
sometimes I
your-
can sleep for just, like, 9 hours, for instance. But because I woke up at a time where my body is more happy about waking up, it's like, I'm fine. Like, that happened the other day, kind of, where I slept for about, like, I think it was 10 hours. But I woke up at around, like, 3:30 p.m. And that's, like, a time where my body is like, now I'm ready to go, which is like really sad that that's when it happens.
Oh boy.
My internal body is messed up. My sleep's I'm a descendant of one of those people that needed to stay up in the middle of the night to watch over the tribe billions of years ago.
Like an owl person.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember what happened last time, Rolf?
Not at all. No, I'm kidding. We got slapped with a collar, poisoned, cured, and then brought into what looked like a modeling agency, but it was all the detectives. So.
Yeah. As always. As always.
Don't know if it's a boy band or a detective group, but
It's either or, really, in these circumstances.
they're an idol group on the side.
Yeah. I mean, because the reason I say that is because a lot of times with these things, they'll, like, post, like, PR images and things like that, and they'll be like, the boys, but they run a cafe. The boys, but they're part of a band. Like, they do that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So we're here. We had just left because they gave us the option of doing one of the cases. But we were like, we need some time to think about it first before we pick a case.
Alright.
So that happened. And as I pointed out in the title, picking a case does pick our route, basically. Like, what you decide to look into
We're
kind of
already
determines...
deciding which route we're taking.
Well, not yet. We're gonna look at all the cases and stuff. I think first, and then like our character will then be like, okay, this is the one I want to go for. And basically choosing which case you're interested in also is choosing which boy you're interested in. Which I was saying, like, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, that's so funny in a way. Because it's like, we're, along with solving a case, we're also solving this bad boy.
Oh dear.
But yeah, and
Have you done all of the routes already? Or?
Yeah, I've seen all the game already.
Okay.
And another thing is 2 routes will be locked to us.
Okay.
Though neither of them are necessarily the routes that I care that much about, so it's fine. Even though one of them kind of gives all the lore about what happens. Actually, like, that's one of the problems with the true route in this, is that you barely have any, like, Like, there's not that much, like, good scenes between Ichika and, Yanagi, because, the game is spending so much time
On the lore.
on lore, like, revealing all the secrets. Like, it's just this truth, this truth, this truth, this truth, this truth, all his route. It's like, okay. But yeah, and as usual, I personally usually prefer to just, like, pick one route, play that route, and then, like, call it. I don't know if I want to go through every single route in this game. So
No, that sounds exhausting.
yeah, so, like, just like with Hakuoki or whatever, or all the other VNs we've done, like, I think just picking one of the routes that we have available and just doing that, and then, like, looking up the rest afterwards will probably be the best option. But yeah, it's also, that's the reason why I didn't want to do, like, Code Realize unless I, like, do it on my own and play all the routes and get to that last route, because my favorite route is the one that's locked. It's like, no! I would have to, like, play the whole game, all the different routes, and then be like, okay, Rolf, now we can play Code Realize. There we go. But yeah.
Alright, do we wanna turn the voices off this time around? I mean, there's definitely no way I'm gonna sound like them, but...
Yeah. I mean, I would say let's wait one more time because we're still on the common
Alright.
route. I think once we leave the common route, we can go full on no voices, just so that you can get more used to hearing some of the voices and everything.
Makes sense.
Squinting at the rays of the morning sun, I left the detective office. Oh, I think I remember this scene, actually, that's about to happen, which is very fun.
Alright.
I turned around to see Sazasuka there. What is it?
No, I'm looking at the stream instead of the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, why is this taking so long?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I didn't see this.
Huh?
考えさせろって言ってたけど、お前に俺たちを拒否る理由ってあるの？柳さんはああ言ってたけど、お前がどんな答えを出すにせよ、お前自身が X デー事件の手がかりなのは変わらない。
Yeah, but this has all just kind of been thrown at us, and we also have to decide which case to do, and we need time to think about which case we want to do, so we kind of do need the time.
少なくとも俺は簡単に逃がす気ねえから。
What's that supposed to mean?
使い道のあるバカなら利用するだけ。
Wow. I mean, fair, but still.
That's Sazasuka for you. He's blunt to a fault. Sazasuka's eyes narrowed in irritation, and then suddenly yanked my muffler hard.
Ouch.
Hey!
黙れ。
The hell?
Sazasuka was glowering at me. He stared at me with what looked to me like hatred. A chill ran down my spine and I froze.
命がかかってるからって誰もがお前に同情すると思うな。
Oh yeah, that's an Anya boy for you.
Yep. Yep.
Complete psychopath.
I promise you this scene isn't how he's like really. He's just trying
Yeah,
to...
he's just jealous about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Once you poke through the exterior, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy, as they always...
I just have very little patience for that. Usually.
Yeah. I mean, because in real life, that's not really how it is, you know?
No. Have you? I don't know if you've seen anything of Baldur's Gate 3 or not. But...
I've seen like images and a couple like short scenes, but that's it.
Yeah, because there's a character who's basically like this, and some people love him, and I'm just like, why would I let this man into my party?
Yeah.
This never do. No, but once you get to know him, he's great. Yeah, but he's a psychopath now. So.
Yeah.
Bye.
Which character is it?
It's Astarion.
Oh
the white-haired
yeah,
elf
he's
guy,
like
yeah.
the number one for so many people. I've been seeing so many people loving him. And I first, when I saw him, I was like, that seems like maybe it's an Anya boy.
Yeah.
But I also
Definitely.
watched some seeds, and I'm like, I don't know if he's an Anya boy.
I mean, he's definitely like fun. Like,
Yeah.
It's just if I'm playing my character as being in character, then I just have no reason to
Yeah.
hang out with him. So then I don't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yanagi, on the other hand, had said that he didn't want to let me die. The moment of safety I felt had vanished. Yeah, like that's kind of an issue to me about the Baldur's Gate series.
Mhm.
Like, for example, with Dragon Age, you don't have to agree with people to like recruit them. You know, like you can just like have them join and they'll like hate you a bit, but they'll stick around unless you like really piss them off. Like you really have to try hard to kick them out, you know? Whereas with Baldur's Gate, it feels a lot more like it's really based on how you build your character and like. And on the one hand, like, it does make it feel more like you're in charge of the story and, like, you're actually impacting things more. But on the other hand, that means you're kind of, like, missing whole characters that you could have. And it's like,
yeah, I kind of have to do multiple playthroughs to get it all.
Yeah.
If you want to play, roleplay it properly at least.
Yeah.
Well, I say properly, but, you know.
Yeah. Honestly,
Seriously.
like... The funny thing about, like, for example, Dragon Age 2 for me is, my favorite character, obviously, was Fenris. That shouldn't be, it shouldn't be a surprise.
Zero surprise there.
Yeah. And, but I always like playing as a mage, because I just like playing mage gameplay. But it's so funny, because all scenes with Fenris, like I'll be like traveling with Fenris and he'll be like talking about how much he hates mages, and someone in the party will be like, well, but Anya Hawk is a mage, and he'll be like, nah, but Anya Hawk is the best, like everybody should want to be like Anya Hawk. And I'm like, okay. It's so funny, like every time
She
he's
doesn't
like,
count. Yeah.
she doesn't count. She's an outlier. Not everybody's as strong as her. Not everybody's as cool as her. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Oh my gosh. It's so good. I realized that even for a moment, I had allowed myself to think that I was in a sympathetic environment. But he's different. I could be killed at any moment. Did he really not care at all?
He's not like other boys.
Yeah, he's not like other boys. But yeah,
he doesn't simp.
Yeah, he doesn't simp. But yeah, he's actually I would say like he's more just like trying to scare her more than anything else.
He's also very suspicious of
Yeah.
お前に自覚があろうとなかろうとアドニスがお前に何らかの価値を見出してるのは事実だ。このつながりを無駄にできるかよ。どんな推挙か知らねえけど向こうも真相にたどり着けって言ってんだ。忘れたか。首輪のやつは言ったろ。お前を通して俺らのことも見てるってな。俺は事件を解決するためだけに動いてる。そのためにお前の存在が必要だってんなら絶
Yeah, if he's really convinced that she's working with them, then this makes total sense.
Yep. That's... I
He's
replied...
like, don't think I'll trust you just because you're like a damsel in distress.
Yeah. I replied in a voice cracking with fear. Because, like, the thing with Yanagi, it should be pretty obvious already that, like, he knows Hoshino. Like, they've met before. And so it kind of makes his more sympathetic reaction make more sense. Because he knows her. He knows her. He's met her before. He has a history with her. And so it's not just, like, here's this random stranger who is apparently tied to Adonis. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so this choice is important, I think.
Alright.
I mean, like, not, like, super, super important, but, like, getting points important, I think. So what do you want to say?
I don't know, they're both pretty good questions, I guess. I think the top one's more important.
The top one?
Have I locked us into a bad ending now?
Do you suspect me?
それもある。
What else is there? My apparently thoughtless question seemed to only further Sazasuka's irritation with me, and he glared even harder.
聞きが足りてねえからだよ。
Huh?
柳さんはああいう人だから、いちいちお前に配慮して、お前の意思を尊重しようとする。
I mean, I would say that that's just decent respect.
Just being
Not
like a human being.
Yeah.
Decent person, yeah.
Not, oh, he's soft, so he's being nice to you.
バカだが、周りのことまで頭が回ってね。白石さんは面白がってるだけで、どう転ぼうが構わないと思ってる。だから俺がご親切に教えてやってんだよ。お前に突きつけられた現実ってものをな。
He lowered his voice as he finished and then let me go. Sazatsuka?
平和ボケした頭を切り替えろ。お前はもう X レイ事件の渦中にいる。死にたくなかったらな。
お前はもう死んでる。
This person, was he worried about me? He's getting in there.
Oh no,
It's
he's
just-
tsundere.
But yeah, like, he's basically, as I said, he's like trying to make her realize, like, hey, this is a dangerous situation to be in.
This is the real shit.
Yeah, this is the real shit. Or was he just making fun of me again? Although he's right. Despite the harsh delivery, Sazatsuka was giving me the unvarnished truth. Sazatsuka exasperately looked at me again and sighed in
いい
disgust.
か。とにかくお前の選択肢に俺たちから逃げるってのは存在しねえ。黙って捜査に加わるか、俺らに見張られ利用されるかの二択だ。その上でどっちがマシかを考えろ。分かったな。
Under Sazatsuka's ice cold glare, I finally nodded.
バカ猫、今言ったこと忘れるなよ。
Leaving me with that, Sazatsuka went back inside without a second glance. Feeling like a fugitive, I checked behind me once I reached the intersection. I saw him go back inside, so I knew he wouldn't have come after me, but still. I want to hurry up and get home. I was staring at the red light when I was suddenly tapped on the shoulder. I jumped in surprise and spun around.
ごめんね。君、さっき探偵事務所にいた子だよね。
The SP guy. Yeah. Not knowing why he had approached me, I nodded cautiously. That's right. I had a request for them. It was a detective agency, so I thought that would be a good bluff, but his eyes went wide.
依頼できた？
Yes.
おかしいな。基本的に依頼は受けていないって聞いたんだけど。
Wait, really? Alarmed by this sudden twist, I thought back to what Yanagi said.
あの男は X デー事件を捜査中の俺たちを守るという任務についている。警視庁警備部警護課の岡崎圭だ。どういう理由で SP を俺たちにつけているのか、警察の意図は分かっていない。
I knew that Yanagi was independently pursuing the X-Day cases. In other words, this man knew the detective agency was just a front. He said that.
Oops.
Whoopsies. The 5th floor of the building that IG Yanagi and Mineo Inamoto reside in. They just happened to select a place where the previous resident had the sign blank private detective agency. Regretting such an obvious lie, I scrambled desperately for a cover. They made an exception for me. I had nowhere else to turn, so I begged them and they took on my job. What a terrible excuse!
君が土下座したの？
Yes, I needed their help. I had no choice.
そう。それは大変だったね。
I mean, this isn't really a lie. We're telling him the truth. It just probably sounds really bad. He gave me a look of pity. I'm sure I would do the same in his position. The signal changed, so I'll be off now. Goodbye.
See ya.
I tried to leave as quickly as possible.
あ、待って。女の子の一人歩きは危ないから。家まで送ってあげる。
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Take me.
Take me.
Take this.
He tugged on my sleeve and smiled. This is bad. I'll be fine. It's right around the corner.
遠慮しなくてもいいよ。ほら、行こう。
Okazaki took my hand and started walking. He's pushier than I expected. What should I do?
Shout stranger danger.
This man is kidnapping me. I know. Of course, I didn't say that out loud.
ちょっと事情があって、あの事務所にはよく行くんだ。
I know that too. After another mental comeback, I took some time to consider my next move. I'm glad my holster's concealed under my coat. If not, he'd know that I was a cop. No matter how many times I said I was fine, he wouldn't listen, and now we neared my home. I didn't prompt the subject, but he'd been talking about the detective agency the entire time we'd been walking.
ね、安心して。とっても優秀な人たちの集まりだから、きっと君の依頼をこなしてくれるよ。
I see. Well, they were police, so that makes sense.
真面目で芯の強い人たちなんだ。多分、君も接していけばわかると思う。
Okazaki's gentle smile made me a little curious about why he was assigned by the police to protect the group. It's right here. If I just picked a different apartment to lose him, he'd follow and know I was lying. With that in mind, I thought I'd just head directly to my place.
またね。
See you around? I want as little to do with him as possible, but if he was protecting Yanagi's group, I'd run into him again if I went there. Wait a second. The letters from the criminals. He could have planted them, right? He works for the police, so he could have slipped in the first letter with the files. He comes in through the window, so he could have left the second letter in the office.
それじゃバイバイ
Ah, yes. Thank you very much for your help. I stared at his back as he walked away. Okazaki. He spoke as if he knew quite a bit about Yanagi's group. They're the people he's protecting, so that's perfectly natural, but only a certain caliber of person worked in SP. There should be many other people in this town worth protecting in a city this dangerous. Yet he was watching Yanagi's group. Something's definitely off. The longer I thought about it, the more I felt like I couldn't trust him. To begin with, the first letter indicated that a criminal was in the station, or that there was a traitor in the ranks. But why me? Even more questions now filled my head. And it's weird that they voice acted this before, but this time they're not doing it. Okay.
She is one of our sympathizers, and a woman with the potential to inherit our will, so treat her with courtesy.
A sympathizer. Though Yanagi's group and Okazaki were linked, I had no idea who that term applied to.
I think I've got a hunch as to who the traitor in the police might be, but
Oh, do you want to share who you think it is?
do you think it's the second guy? He's blonde, I think.
Oh, our friend from the academy?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll find
Yep.
out. I couldn't think of anyone.
Not our partner, but the other guy.
Yeah. I know exactly who you're talking about. I couldn't think of
Just has
anyone.
that vibe.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. I couldn't think of anyone who'd sympathize with the perpetrators of the X-Day murders. Who put this collar on me? What do they want? I don't know anything. Collar has been added to materials. Thanks.
Just go to materials, select, and unequip.
There we go! We solved it!
Select, drop. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, again, these coins are found at the scene of all the X-Day incidents because the coins are made with some sort of special material and process. The presence of an authentic coin indicates that a crime is tied to X-Day and not simply a copycat crime. Adonis wants the world to know that their methods and goals are justified, so these items are thought to be a part of that goal. The Roman numeral discovered alongside the coin found on the first X-Day incident is the number IX, which is 9. Every month, the number counts down by 1. December would be number 1. It is thought that a major incident will occur on January of next year when the countdown reaches 0.
Low life.
Hi, lives. Welcome to the stream. I love you so much. How's it going? And yeah, we were talking about the insane amount of missing persons cases in Ohio and like what might be causing that. Because like I drove through the country to visit relatives, and so I passed through Ohio during that trip, and there's so many missing person signs, and when I looked it up, like, I found out that there's just, like, an insane amount in Ohio. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on over there? Okay.
Everyone's just trying to get out of Ohio.
Yeah, I guess so. Everyone's like, I gotta get out of here. On the night of December 5th, the protagonist is attacked by an unknown assailant. When she woke up, she discovered a collar affixed to her neck. The collar has a poison delivery system that can be triggered remotely, putting her life in constant danger. The collar has a microphone and speaker that allows the collar to transmit and send audio. The source of the transmission is unknown, but the electronic safeguards on the collar are highly advanced. Anyways, also... No. Ohio. It's like Ohio and then Ohio.
Rip.
Also, my favorite part of Ichika's like room, which we kind of see here, is she has like these little macaroon pillows. And it's like my favorite part about her room. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the macaroon pillows. I love it. When I got home, I sat down on my bed to think instead of changing my clothes. What should I do now? My thoughts traveled a maze of twisty passages all alike.
いたのかよ。
The fuck?
It's our little brother,
Oh.
Kazuki. My brother Kazuki came into the living room. The clock read 7 a.m. It was about time for him to wake up. Morning.
Does
Sorry
he
I didn't
live
make
with
breakfast.
her parents or just with their brother?
So Ichika just lives with her brother because, and I think they'll explain it soon. But basically,
uniform so pretty?
yeah, it's so good. Basically, he's, like, their parents live outside of Shinjuku. Ichika lives here, while working, like, this is, like, her place. And he's, like, staying with her. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
いらない。それより、今日は家いんの？
Nope. I'll rest a bit and then head into work. I'm busy this evening, so I think I'll be home late.
あっそう。
With that, Kazuki left the room. Normally,
Alright, then.
I'd say, I'll make breakfast now and then force him to eat it, but honestly, I didn't have the strength now. Frankly, I had my hands full. I need to get some sleep. I wasn't in the mood to do anything, so I plopped onto my bed and closed my eyes. But slumber didn't take me. In the end, I didn't sleep a wink, and it was time for work. Yeah, sleep? This is definitely fiction, exactly. I came to work tired, so I made a lot of careless mistakes. Mochita sent me home early, so I groggily made my way to the train station. I still have time left to burn before I'm supposed to meet Sayaki. That's the blonde-haired guy you were talking about.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anywhere near the pub where I can kill time, because remember they were talking about that they would hang out to get drinks and stuff.
ねえ君
Man, today was horrible. I caused a lot of trouble for Mochita too.
あれ聞こえてないねえ君
Today I should go over to Yankee's office and decide what I'm...
わ
Yeah.
やっと気づいてくれたさっきから声かけてたんだよ
Okazaki, sorry, I was deep in thought. We parted ways this morning. I didn't expect to run into him here again. They were serious about him being ghostly.
ね
He was screaming at you, you just didn't hear it. He's like, hey, Ichika, hello! And you're like, I wonder what Yanaki's doing.
And this guy's coat also has rust all over it.
I know, right? Everyone is so dirty.
Everyone just washing their clothes with all the colors mixed. or
Yeah. Huh? Talk? I wasn't thinking quickly enough for this. We both work for the police, so I don't want to let anything slip. I'll just have to apologize and turn him...
じゃあ行こ
What?
うダメ
I have plans
ちょっ
already.
とだけでもダメかな
He looked at me like an abandoned puppy dog, and my reluctance faded. No, it's fine.
The puppy dog eyes always work.
Yeah, I would say, so as I mentioned before, my two favorite routes in this game would be Sazasuka and Okazaki. I think those two have my favorite routes in this game out of all the routes. He casually swept up my hand, and I knew that I was trapped now. This park used to be bustling with children playing. Any person who was younger than 20 was now escorted by an adult guardian until they got home. Nobody knew when something might happen, so most people kept their children at home. That's why
Guy's lucky he's pretty, or this would be harassment.
Yep. That's why the park was so empty.
ここ座ろっか。
Okay. What are we going to talk about anyway? We were sitting on a bench, but Okazaki didn't seem like he was going to say anything. I just sat quietly and sadly looked at the abandoned park. I felt pressure on my shoulder, and I saw...
Excuse me. Now it's definitely harassment.
He's sleeping?
None.
Huh? You've got to be kidding me. He's not just faking? I watched him for a bit, and he really did seem to be asleep. He just instantly fell asleep in public. Was this guy really an SP officer? Now what? I can't move! Having said that, I couldn't bring myself to wake Okazaki, who was sleeping so soundly. I'd heard that SP work was really tough. Maybe he doesn't get enough sleep? Just a little while, then. Sleep police officer. Yeah, that's what the SP actually stands for. I was sure he'd wake up in a bit.
8 hours later.
It's like we're now sitting in the middle of the night. We missed our bar date with Sayaki. And we're like, and he like calls us later like, where were you? And we're just like, this guy fell asleep on us and we
It's
didn't
that
feel like
sitcom
moving.
thing where he goes looking for you and he sees this guy on your shoulder and he assumes that you're on a date and it's all dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking that, I stayed still. Okazaki showed no signs of waking up at all. It's already been half an hour and it's getting really hard to hold this position. I kind of feel bad, but I'm waking him up. Okazaki, the fact that she waited half an hour is amazing. The patience. Please wake up. The sun's already going down. Okazaki. At last, Okazaki sleepily opened his eyes. No, it's evening.
そっか。君と一緒だったね。
For some reason, Okazaki still didn't get off my shoulder. Then he gently laughed.
よかった。やっぱり君は悪い人じゃないね。
Huh?
だって安心して眠れたから。
It's one way to test someone.
Yeah, well, because since he's an SP officer, he's been, like, trained to, like, sense, like, malice and all that kind of stuff. So if he can, like, do something like this, it means that, you know, we're not a malicious person. Otherwise, he would not be able to relax. Like, he would feel that
Makes
pressure. His tone seemed to be genuinely warm and friendly. I'm not sure I get it, but I think he's genuinely thanking me? I'm glad you were able to get some rest, Okazaki.
ありがとう。やっぱり君って優しい子だね。
You said you had something to discuss.
話、そうそう。そういえば君、名前なんて言うの？
Yeah, he still doesn't know our name at this point.
Already slept on your shoulder. But...
I didn't want to associate with him if possible, so I shouldn't have given my name. But I thought it would be even more suspicious if I didn't give him my name.
今朝タケル君が君をバカ猫って呼んでたけど。
Huh? This morning? Yeah, this happened this morning. Back then? He was there? It wouldn't be strange.
He's always there.
Yeah, he's always hiding in the shadows. It wouldn't be strange for him to be watching the area around the office, but I didn't even notice him.
もしかして 猫って名前なの？珍しいね。
Something like that.
か。じゃあ、猫さんって呼べばいいのかな？
Sure, that's.
じゃあ、これからはそう呼ぶね。猫さんって可愛い響きだな。
Yeah, no shit.
This conversation has taken a weird turn. I guess I could just consider it a
それ
nickname.
にしても、
Is this some sort of fetish?
君って嘘がつけなさそうだよね。
Oh,
Oh, sure, there
really?
go special police senses.
やっぱり
He might have realized that cat isn't actually my name. I felt terrible lying to a fellow officer, but the criminals would be listening too. If I tell him what's going on, it might endanger both of us. Thinking, I gripped my hands tightly.
誰にだって隠し事はあるよ。
Eh?
何かを守るために必要な隠し事と誰かを傷つける嘘は違う。俺にはわかるよ。君は嘘がつけない子。だから君の嘘は誰かを傷つけない。
Alrighty then.
Okazaki. His direct words and confident tone sounded like he'd seen through everything. I was bewildered, but strangely, my heart felt a little lighter.
俺はね、君みたいにまっすぐな子が好き。自分がそうはなれないから。
Huh? I blinked. Entranced by his gentle, smiling eyes, I felt like he was the straightforward one, not I. That made my guilt return with a vengeance. So if I were to tell a lie that hurt you, what would you do?
少し悲しくなるかな。
Okazaki's glum expression was so faint, it looked like his world would crumble. I was concerned about Okazaki's expression, but he said that he had to return to work and just left. I thought I'd have to be on my guard, but maybe it was just the atmosphere. He just backed off. I don't want to suspect Okazaki. I met up with Sayaki at the pub and gloomily took a
ご
seat.
注文は？
Oolong!
生をジョッキで2つ。
Sayaki, I'm sorry to be a drag, but I'm not really up for drinking today.
じゃあ生ビール1つと。
Oolong tea, please.
生ビールとウーロン茶ですね。少々お待ちください。
I sighed in relief and used the hot towel. I'm tired, but I'm meeting Yanagi's group immediately after this. It wouldn't be a good idea to drink. I felt guilty for not being
Yeah,
able to
no.
drink with Sayaki because he invited me here.
前から約束してたのに一人だけウーロン茶とかさ。なんだよ、付き合い悪くないか。
Sorry, I pulled an all-nighter, so I'm really beat.
冗談だよ。付き合ってくれただけ感謝してるって。
I was looking forward to the date, too. It's been a while since we went drinking together.
そう言ってもらえると嬉しいけどさ。まあでも、あんま無理すんなよ。悩み事溜め込むのは良くないぞ。
Eh?
今日も署内でお前見かけたんだけど、気もそぞろっていうか、ただの睡眠不足ってだけじゃない気がしてさ。特防なりの苦労もあるって知ってるし。何か力になれることがあったら遠慮なく言えよ。
Sayaki! His words made me tear up. Maybe it's because I was so dejected.
でも今月金欠で金関係は力になれないかもしれない。
And that jarred me right back to reality. It was so like him.
いやほら、警察官も人間だからさ、金欠の時もあるって。な、
Yeah, sure.
普通だったら男の俺がおごるとこを毎回割り勘にしてくれてる星野には感謝してる。マジで。
Oh my gosh. It's not a big deal. We've split the tab for as long as I've known you.
Also, we both have the same job, so it's
Yeah.
only makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. While we chatted, the server returned with our drinks. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's one thing to split on or to have the guy pay for a date, but if you're just as a work thing, that's weird.
Yeah. Or like a friend thing as well, because
Yeah.
like we are just, friends, so it makes sense that we would just split the bill.
Yeah, or take turns or something.
Yeah.
やっぱ星野は話がわかるな。なんかさ、同じ交番勤務のやつと飲みに行ったんだけどさ、俺が警察官になったのは人々の幸せと世界平和のためって言ったら爆笑されてさ、どこがいけないんだっつうの。純粋な夢だと思うだろな。
Yeah, after all, you are keeping the peace around here, Saeki.
ああ、こう見えて結構子供たちにも慕われてるんだ。
I could see that. You're a pretty friendly guy, Saeki.
まあな。そういや、星野が警察官目指した理由、真面目だったよな。
Serious? Not really. I just wanted to help people who were in need.
ああ、そうそう。昔財布を拾って交番に届けたらすっげえ感謝されたんだっけ？
Yeah, I didn't do anything special, but I felt pretty happy knowing that I could help somebody out.
今も特防で困ってる人の悩みを聞いてるし、お前は間違いなく誰かの役に立ってるよ。
Really? I hope so.
俺が言うんだから間違いないって。まあ、全部を救うなんてのは難しいけどさ。せめて自分の手が届く場所にいる人が悲しんでたら助けたいよな。
Yeah, you're right. My conversation with Saeki helped me to remember my conviction. He's right. I was trapped in this situation, and I stopped looking around me. Right now, the X-Day killings have everyone in the police station on edge. At this very moment, somebody in this town might be targeted. The problem wasn't the collar on my neck. The X-Day incidents were the root of it all. My duty is to preserve peace in Shinjuku. No matter what, I have an obligation to everyone to pursue this until the end. If there was even a chance that it'd help someone who was in a situation like me, a police officer should do whatever they can. This is no time to hesitate. Thanks a lot, Saeki. I'm feeling much better thanks to you.
よくわからないけど力になれたんならよかった。よし、気分も良くなってきたし、ビールおかわり。
Hey, maybe you should stop.
みんなまとめて。
Oh no.
Saeki, you're drinking too much. Let's go home. Saeki kept throwing back beers until he ended up passed out on the table.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I urged him to get up and shook his body, but I knew he wouldn't wake up in that state.
Very professional for a police officer.
Yeah. Well, we're off duty.
Got
That's
drunk in
not
the
what.
bar.
How many is too many? Obviously.
One.
Yeah. Saeki! Saeki! Hey, wake up!
引っ張るなって。これだから人気者は辛い。
Jeez, he always drinks so much even though he can't hold his alcohol. I've seen the movies, the drunk cops always win. It's true. Oh, a text. Watching Saeki mutter incoherently in his stupor, I took out my phone. Yanagi's like, are you still at work? I was like, actually, I'm at a bar with my friends. It's
You are?
Yanagi. Oh no, it's already so late. It was already past 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, I'll head over shortly. Anytime you can come by is fine. You could come after work's done. Let me know when you're heading over. I'll be there around 11. Got it. I'll let the other guys know. I hurriedly replied and closed my phone. Excuse me. May we have the check, please?
はい、少々お待ちください。
Yeah, he'll pay when he wakes up. Bye.
Yeah. Saeki, get ready to go. I called him and pulled on his arm, but Saeki wouldn't return from Dreamland. Damn it, Saeki!
はい。
sound.
Yeah. Through some miracle, he made it out of the pub, but Saiki wasn't steady on his feet. I'll call you a cab once we're at the main road. Just hang in there until then.
Well, my car's right there. No need for a cab.
走っても帰れる。
That's crazy. Hey, look out! Before I could grab Sayaki's arm, he plowed right into somebody who happened to be walking in front of him. I'm sorry.
Plowing people in broad daylight. No.
It was Enomoto.
お前なんでこんなとこに
Both of our eyes went wide, as we never expected to bump into each other here. Once he noticed drunk Sayaki, his wide eyes narrowed, and Enomoto frowned.
お前飲みの帰り今日うちの事務所に来るって言ってなかったっけ
I already had a prior engagement today. I texted Yaniki that I'd come afterwards. Oh, is Enomoto in a bad mood? He gave Sayaki a sideways glance.
Well, I think you're not taking this seriously.
Yeah.
Or he's jealous. That's also.
Huh? No, Sayaki and I don't have that kind of relationship.
必死に否定するとこが怪しいっつうかまあ俺には関係ないけど
And yet, you still asked.
相当飲んでるみたいだけどそいつどうすんだよさすがに道に捨てるわけにはいかねえだろうしタクシーでも拾ってやろうか
Well, let me think. I'm a bit worried, so I'll probably take him home.
はあ送るってお前それ男の家に行くのか
Oh my god.
Well, yeah.
なんつうかそれはさすがにまずくないか
My man.
Huh? Bad? I've already had to take him home many times before.
何回もってお前彼氏じゃない男の家に行くとか
Good lord.
Enomoto seemed to be in shock, and he backed away from me. You harlot! You whore!
What year is it?
Enomoto.
そいつに気があるんじゃねえの
So personal.
I told you before, it's not like that between us.
ムキになるとこがますます怪しいなそもそも二人っきりで飲むとか
Oh my
間
god.
違いあってもおかしくねえし
As we all
What a
know,
loser.
men and women cannot be friends.
No,
Obviously, you and I are dating right now.
Yeah, we're talking one-on-one, so.
Yeah. We were classmates at the police academy. Enomoto's eyes are full of doubt. It's like press X to doubt. What reason does he have to be looking at me like that? It's gonna be like revealed that he's like a time traveler from another world. And that's why he acts the way he does. We'd only just met recently, and he used up all the
actually from
patience
the
I
Edo
had
period,
for him.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Enomoto, knock it off, or I'm going to get angry.
Hey, nice.
Heck yeah.
つかもう怒っ
Standing
てん
up
じゃ
for
ねえか
yourself.
What did you expect? You keep asking the same question, and then you don't listen to me. We silently glared at each other.
なんだよ声が頭に響く
Stirring, Saiki opened his eyes.
あれこの人誰
Competition.
I paused, at loss for an explanation. I could tell Saiki the truth.
言えないような関係ってことは
Oh no.
お前の彼氏だ
This is getting worse.
Yeah.
No.
違うのか
Of course you are!
そうだよ誰がこんな女と
Wow.
What? A girl like this?
あいやだってよおしとやかそうな会見しといてよ思ったより気が強いっつ
I like them more timid and submissive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Submissive and breedable.
oh no.
Wow, he sobered up real quick, yeah. What?
ああもうとにかくお前は俺のタイプじゃね
Well, you're not my type at all either.
I
Ignore
don't like women who set boundaries and stand up for themselves.
Yeah. When I raised my voice during this tit for tat, Enomoto seemed to stiffen in surprise.
ええそっかお前のタイプじゃなくてよかった
He's so dejected! He was hanging his head in shame now. Did I overdo it? But he's the one that instigated all this nonsense.
頭痛い
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Psyche.
Yeah. I looked over at Saiki, whose face had turned an unhealthy shade of green.
おいお前
Is there a healthy shade of green?
Yeah, I don't know.
ダメ
Maybe if you're a Vulcan. I don't. Mr. Enomoto, I don't feel so good.
He just turns to dust.
Sayaki, get a hold of yourself. I'm getting you a taxi right now.
Hold in the puke until the taxi arrives.
Yeah, and then you can puke in the taxi. In the end, Enomoto stepped in and helped me prop up the drunken Sayaki.
Yeah, I just let it go, life.
No, because I think that Vulcans have green blood. I think.
Is that true?
I think so. And so because of that, like, if they're like blushing or something, they should blush green instead of red. So it's like how you would
That
say
would make
that
sense.
then humans have a healthy shade of red, and so Vulcans would have like a healthy shade of green. I would think. I think. Actually,
Makes sense.
let me double check.
But I don't know if the green blood thing is. Oh, you are right.
I was right. Let's go. Me and my Star Trek knowledge. Hey.
You thought Anya was a fake nerd, but actually he's a bigger nerd than all of us.
I've been a fan of Star Trek ever since I can remember. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I mean, life's meaning is like, you know how like when people like blush, like people will say that like, oh, this person has like a healthy shade of red. It's like I was thinking the same thing, where it's like, oh, like a Vulcan blushing, they'll turn green, like that sort of thing. He didn't hesitate and rushed to graciously helped out. I really needed his help with Saiki. After that argument, this was a surprise, but I guess I don't know him that well.
I mean, if their blood is green, they should really, kind of look a bit green as well in the skin, because...
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. We got out of the taxi in front of the office, and I turned to Enomoto. You really helped us out. Thank you.
いいよ別に
And,
俺はお前のことを疑ってっから
Wow.
out of the blue, and, I never know how to pronounce that word. Apropos? Apropos of nothing. Enomoto blindsided me. It's like one of those words that I see written a lot, but I don't hear people say a lot.
Yeah.
There's a pretty high likelihood. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. He said that.
柳先輩が捜査に加えるって言うなら従うけど変に期待すんなよ
Well, cross another off the list.
Yeah, I was pretty stunned that he would just come right out and say that to my face. I understand, or I want to trust you. Yeah, apropos, yeah. Definitely not one of the words that is easy.
I'll just say I understand. I mean, it makes sense that he doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
It's mean, but it makes sense.
Yeah. I understand. It's natural that you would suspect me. Whether he understood me or not, the mistrust I saw reflected in his eyes was hurtful. He used to be a police officer. His devotion to justice is obviously going to make it hard for him to trust someone like me.
そもそも
Who is also a
昨
police
日
officer.
今日会った人間を信用しろって方が難しい話だしそこはお前だって同じなんじゃねえか
Yeah, I just said I understand. I didn't really know how to answer that, so I just kept quiet. However, he
I'm
just...
gonna crush on you and ask if people are your boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah, like, what the heck? He was saying all that, and yet earlier he was demanding that we tell him
I don't
his
trust you. You could be a
psyche.
criminal. Do you want to go out with me?
Yeah, you don't see me as your type? What the heck? How dare?
I was going to trust you, but then you said you weren't into me, so now,
Yeah,
I'm
now
going
I
to suspect
don't.
you.
Yeah. However, you just looked at me disdainfully.
たださ柳先輩は悪いことできる人じゃねえからタケルも口は悪いけど頭はいいし人をバカにすっけど話せばわかることもほとんどないけどごくごく稀にあるっていうか
I'm not really following him.
白石さんはまあ警戒した方がいいな
Yes, I've gathered that much.
ひでえやつだなお前
I didn't expect you to just agree with me. We shared a small smile. It felt like the first genuine smile I'd seen from him, so I relaxed a little.
じゃとりあえず事務所行くかなんだかんだ遅くなっちまったな
Of course, we can't trust each other, but I could feel that Enomoto wants to be able to believe in other people. Aside from me, that is. It seemed like he was trying to make a point, but I didn't know what that point was. Still, when I watched him from behind, I didn't feel like he was capable of evil.
I mean, look at that ass.
Yeah. That ass is...
It's not evil.
it doesn't radiate bad vibes.
Big butts don't lie.
Yanagi, Sasuke, Enomoto, and I continued our conversation from this morning. Apparently, Shirashi was unavailable because he was occupied with police work. First order of business was my answer. As a police officer, I want to solve the X-Day cases as soon as possible. I also really want to remove this collar. Solving the X-Day cases do both, so I'll do that. But given the situation at the police station, I can only do so much, especially since I have no investigation experience. All of you have been investigating the X-Day incidents for quite some time now. I may not be of much help, but would you please allow me to work with you? They considered how to deal with me. As long as I was possibly tied to the perps, they'd have reservations about my inclusion. Inwardly, I trembled with anticipation and anxiety.
当事者のお前が決めたことなら俺はその意思を尊重したい
ま、どのみちこいつから目を離すわけにはいかないしな
近くにいればいざって時にも対応できるだろう
They all responded differently, but it seemed like they'd all accepted me into the group. I was
こい
relieved.
つが加わるとして捜査体制は変えないんだろ
ああお前たちには今まで通り X デー事件の捜査を続けてもらう首輪の構造を調べられない時点でやれることも限られるしな今は各事件の情報収集が先決だ
Enomoto nodded, though his face showed a look of displeasure.
気になってたんだけど
Sasuke stared daggers, not at me rather, directed at
お
Enomoto.
前最近捜査してる
For the slightest of moments, Enomoto stiffened up.
そんなの当然だろこの俺を誰だと思ってんだっつうの
お前だから疑ってんだこのエキセントリックバカ俺の質問に答えろ
うるせえな今は星野の役割を決めるんだろ
ああごまかすんじゃねえよエセ眼帯野郎
ごまかしてねえし
Called out.
適当なこと言うなサイバーワカメが
Guys, now's not the time to be fighting.
いい加減にしておけ。
Yanagi's like, this is what I have to deal with every day of my freaking life. My intervention was futile. No, I didn't intervene at all. Yanagi got all of them settled down with a mere sentence.
榎本、俺もここ最近お前が捜査に本腰を入れているようには見えなかったが、何か問題があるなら相談に乗る。隠さずに言ってくれ。
Yanagi was trying to calm him down, but Enomoto seemed more restless.
俺のことはもういいっすから。大丈夫だし。話進めてください。
そうか。わかった。それから星野、お前にも確認しておきたいことがある。事件を捜査するにあたって、お前の希望はあるか？
A preference? The nature and the MO of the X-Day crimes changed from month to month. None of the cases have been solved, aside from September, where the suspect died, so we should look into the other months. If I choose to investigate a case that someone else was already assigned to, we'd obviously end up working together. So this is what I mean. By picking which case, we end up with a certain person. Seeing as how that is the case, I should choose my preference carefully. This is the time. We're about to leave the common route.
例えば8月の実行犯がお前を拉致した事件に関わってなくても首輪について知ってる可能性は高い。
Take all the cases. All of them are mine. Nom 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 nom.
Just shove the papers in your mouth.
Now I know. I consumed them, so now I know. It's like Kirby. I suck up the cases and I become the case.
Oh no.
I see.
9月の事件みたいに自殺されない限り、実行犯を捕まえりゃ、何かしら組織とのつながりは出てくるはずだしな。手紙にあった X デイ事件の真実っつうのも手がかりが得られるんじゃねえの。
そう簡単にいけばいいが。
Okay, so we have Adonis and materials.
お前にも明日から捜査に加わってもらう。事件の概要を改めて頭に入れておいてくれ。
Oh, we first have to, I forgot, we first have to research each of the cases and then we'll pick a I forgot how long they take into this, but we have to learn about each of, like more in depth on each of the cases first before we pick a case.
あとお前には署内にいる人間から警察の情報を引き出してもらうからな。
Imagine Kirby's hair if he ain't one of them. Yo. I'm imagining like with Sazasuka's like weird seaweed ghost hair.
Yeah.
お前の使い道って言えば今のとこそれくらいしかないし。
おいおいおい、それミスってバレたらクビじゃねえか。
それはこいつの努力次第だろ。現に白石さんはうまく抜いてる。
Wait, are you telling me that Shirachi is leaking information from the police department to you?
まああの人は容量いいからな。バカ猫に期待はしねえけど。白石さんは気まぐれだし、欲しい情報が条件付きの時もある。お前がうまく使えれば手間が減る。そもそもお前に選択権なんてないだろ。黙って従え、バカ猫。
Sasasuka was really scary. Annoyingly, I couldn't think of a comeback to his demeaning put-downs.
警察組織の人間であるお前が安易に情報を流せないのは当然だ。できる範囲でいい。内部で信用できそうなやつから少しでも多く情報を集められれば、お前自身の役にも立つだろう。
I'm not assigned to investigations, so yeah.
警察に事情を明かせない以上、誰彼構わずというわけにはいかない。笹塚。
At Yanagi's behest, Sasasuka turned his computer screen so that I could see.
情報を引き出すなら、まず鑑識課に行け。で、この女を呼び出せ。
The forensics department main duties consist of going to the crime scenes to obtain fingerprints, footprints, and other bits of micro evidence. Shinjuku's department has a field ops support team who they liaise with. There was an image of a woman on his screen, along with a brief profile. It said her name was Kotoho Sakuragawa, and that she worked in forensics. I think this is, if I'm remembering correctly, this is the lady that I wish had a route.
Had a route, yeah.
As there is in all these Otome games.
Yep, there's always one.
やり方次第じゃ力になってくれるかもな。
Always one tease.
断られる。
Yeah.
こいつにはお前に協力するよう約束を取り付けてあるからな。
お前、肉で釣っただろ。
単純なやつは釣りやすくて助かる。結構金はかかったけど。
With a knowing smile, Sasasuka gestured at my collar. Meat? Ah. Looking at her profile, her favorite food was listed as meat. So they swayed her with expensive food?
No, you're the meat.
少しは頼りになるだろう。
Huh? But why can't Shirashi just go and talk to this person?
ああ、そりゃ絶対無理だわ。桜川さん、白石さんのこと苦手だから。顔見ただけでダッシュで逃げるし。
I see. I think I know how she felt. He's scary, but in a different way than Sasasuka is. The way he acts, the way he looks at you like you're a lab rat, he's almost incomprehensible. I get the feeling that he's kind of like the people who put this collar on me.
もし約束を無視しようとしたら、肉を目の前でちらつかせればどうとでもなる。
The way this is written just sounds like in a different game this would have a completely different connotation.
Yeah.
Right.
他にも事情を隠した上で協力してくれるやつはいるかもしれないが、まずはといったところだな。
俺たちも捜査する上で現場に行ったり聞き込みはするけど、事件の新情報はどうしても遅れを取っちまうから。
警察のデータベースあさってみてもめぼしい情報は得られなかったしな。
Eh?
何？
Nothing. When Sasasuka was on the force, he used to work at the Cyber Crimes Division. So he's probably been illegally accessing police computers. I had a feeling that was the case, but I didn't feel like voicing my suspicions.
とにかく可能な範囲で警察内部の動きを探ってくれ。
Got it.
白石は興味のある事件にしか気が向かないしな。今はそれも難航しているようだが。
Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Somebody's here? I made sure my collar was... No, yeah, it was just that was actually just accidentally...
It was a ghost.
Yeah, it was a ghost. or Sasasuka accidentally hit the knocking sound .mp3 file on his computer. Oh, but sorry.
My soundboard.
Yeah. Made sure my collar was hidden and then looked over at the door.
Nani?
Suddenly, Yanagi's head covered my mouth. Huh? What is he? When I looked at him in confusion, he silently shook his head. He's telling me not to talk? I nodded and Yanagi removed his hand.
探偵事務所さん、警察です。巡回連絡に来ました。
At this hour? Where have I heard that voice before? Ah! Okaza? He's like, don't talk. He just goes like, yeah, I won't talk. Oh, Okazaki!
You fucking moron.
Oh my gosh.
Way to make a good impression.
Yeah, everybody gave me a sharp look for blurting out Okazaki's name.
今声が聞こえましたよ。いるなら早く開けてください。
Everyone's so upset. They all heaved sighs and I hung my head. Sorry.
マジでバカ猫。
岡崎、客が来てるんだ。今日は帰ってくれ。
お客さん？あ、猫さんでしょ。
猫さんなんだそれ。
He's talking about me, actually. I told them about the time when Okazaki tried to talk to me.
ああ、なんだそりゃ。つってもごまかすためだし仕方ねえか。俺らも口裏合わせなきゃだな。
適当に依頼受けたことにすりゃいいだろう。猫探しとか。
探偵事務所が表向きだってことは岡崎も知ってる。適当な依頼内容じゃあいつは食い下がるぞ。
ちぇ、めんどくせえな。
別に事情を話す必要はない。本物の探偵にも守秘義務はあるしな。
I nodded at Yanagi's explanation. Once I understood, he opened the door.
やっと開けてくれた。イルスなんてひどいな。
And that's time number 3 we've run into this guy today.
Yep. Okazaki strolled into the middle of the room and smiled at me.
猫さんこんばんは。
Hello. For now, we've decided that I'll start contributing to the investigation tomorrow. If I stay here any longer, I might let something slip and cause problems. I should leave this to them and go home. Then that settles my business. Thank you for taking on my request. Pretending to be a client, I then started to leave the room.
待って。
Until Okazaki blocked my path. This felt familiar.
もう遅いから俺が送るよ。
Of
女の子一人じゃ危ないから。
course.
I knew it! But did you have your own business to attend to here?
また戻ってくるから大丈夫。ほら、行こう。
He's saying all that while smiling again. I turned around to ask the people behind me for help, but...
ここで引き止めるのは逆に怪しいな。
いくらバカ猫でも岡崎くらい適当に流せるだろう。
今朝なんともなかったんなら大丈夫じゃね。
I think. They're giving up because I'm not worth it.
ね、早く行こう。あんまり遅くなると家の人が心配するだろうから。
My refusals this morning had no effect, and they wouldn't work now as I expected. Internal screaming. Ah! I left the place with Okazaki pushing my back. Okazaki started heading in the direction of my home without asking for directions. He's only been there once. This guy's got a pretty good memory. During my odd feeling of admiration, I realized I hadn't said a word since we left. This is awkward.
ね、聞いてもいい？
Oh, sure. What is it? Okazaki gently broke the silence, as if he sensed the tension. Only been there once that you know of.
Oh, no.
Exactly. Although, it'll be problematic if he asks something I can't
猫さん
answer.
があの探偵事務所に依頼を持ち込んだ時なんだけどね。
Straight to
土
that.
下座の他に何かした？
Excuse me?
What else?
考えてみたんだけど、あの人たちが土下座をされただけで依頼を受けるかなって。
Oh, that's what he means.
Yeah.
It's a very weird
ちょっ
translation.
と不思議だったんだ。
Yeah, because earlier they didn't translate Dogeza as actually kneeling.
Yeah.
So now when he brings it up, it's like, what?
Yeah. You see, I desperately racked my brain and said what came to mind. The truth is, I paid them a large sum of money. I don't know whether or not they're in financial trouble, but I think that sounds like a valid enough reason to take a job. But they aren't really enticed by cash. I was aware of this, so I just felt like I had dug my own grave.
ああ、そっか。それなら受けてくれるかもね。
But Okazaki nodded as if he understood. I was relieved that I hadn't just blown it. If I had, he would really suspect me. That said, I did find it curious that Okazaki would accept money as a legitimate reason. He draws a government salary, right? Maybe he's fallen on hard times? My thoughts had wandered off on a tangent. Glancing at the Shinjuku office buildings, I thought of the future. Starting tomorrow, I'll be working together with the others. I still didn't know anything about them. I didn't just need to learn about X-Day, I need to learn about the group members. We'll finally be working together, so I think it'd be good to get to know them better. And the perfect guy to help me with that was walking right in front of me. Okazaki?
Nani?
Well, I did choose that detective agency back there to take my job, but I've only met them a few times, so I don't know whether I can really trust them. Okazaki, is there anything about those people that you could tell me? Anything at all to reassure me? I was posing as a client, so I didn't think this was a strange thing to ask. My heart pounded as Okazaki looked at
いい
me.
よ。俺が知ってること教えてあげる。
Oh, thank you very much.
まずは柳さんからね。あの人は大人だと思う。
Huh?
他の3人と違って一歩引いて物事を見極めてるっていうか。それにタケル君とミネオ君が喧嘩するたびに仲裁してるよ。こうどっしりしてて探偵事務所のお父さんって感じ。
Father. The image fit him to a T, and I giggled at how, oh my gosh, they used it again.
Apropos.
Apropos. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get that. Then what about Sasasuka?
タケル君はね、ああ見えて優しいんだよ。
Nice? Really?
その顔は信じてないでしょ。
No, it's just Sasasuka always acts so prickly.
でもたまにドーナツくれるよ。それやるから帰れって言われちゃうけど。
Fuck off
Wait,
donuts.
isn't that just him trying to bribe you to leave with donuts?
あとミネオ君は見ての通りだよね。
That's all you can say about him. Oh, is that all?
Yeah, it's basically a teenager.
彼のベ
Yeah.
スト胸キュン国
Yeah.
戦って本が置いてあってね。
Oh my god. The biggest loser.
Yeah.
きっとロマンチストなんだよね。こっそり付箋がついてたページ見ちゃったんだけど。聞きたい？
Oh god.
No, I think I'll pass.
そう？あとは白石さんか。彼はおかしな人だよね。
He's just weird.
Yeah, weird? It seems like I might finally gain some valuable intel. I looked at Okazaki with expectant eyes. When you say weird, what do you mean specifically?
実はあの人。怒ってる時でも顔は笑ってるんだよ。観察してると違いが分かって面白いかな。
I expected so much more than that. I mean, I think that's like a pretty interesting detail, what he just said.
Yeah.
Like the idea that, like, he no matter what expression he's making, internally, he's not really changing all that
Yeah.
much. That makes him very suspicious.
Some sociopath behavior.
Yeah. Nothing Okazaki had told me had much substance to it. No, he really gave you some pretty good tips on all of them that were pretty
You're the one
legit.
who declined to know about the love notes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's stuff like this and of course all the things earlier that show there's a reason why Okazaki is SB. Like he seems like a head in the clouds, no care at all, but he's actually super sharp.
Yeah.
I suppose Okazaki must observe the guys in the agency a lot to notice all these details about them. I snuck a sideways glance at Okazaki. For some reason, There was an eye mask in the pocket of his well-worn suit. He wore an absent-minded look and a flippant manner of speech. If it wasn't for his badge, I'd never believe that he was an SP officer.
俺の顔に何かついてる？
Is that an SP badge? I've seen them in dramas, but I wondered if that's what they actually looked like. I was just trying to make small talk, but I also want to know more about him, so the question slipped out. My curiosity overpowered my mental defenses. It just felt like something was off about him.
当たりだよ。正真正銘の SP バッジ。
Without even a hint of caution, he confirmed his position in the SP.
今もある任務があって、事務所周辺を張ってるんだ。
A mission?
あの男は X デイ事件を捜査中の俺たちを守るという任務についている。警視庁警備部警護課の岡崎圭だ。
I remembered what Yanagi told me earlier.
だから彼らのことはよく知ってるよ。知っておかないといけないからね。
I knew this was weird. Why was Okazaki protecting them when they'd all quit the police force? Or was it his official mission to protect them while his objective was elsewhere? I knew I had to tread lightly. Lightfully? Why did I say that? I knew I had to tread lightly, but there were so many questions I wanted answers to. If he's assigned to their office, I might run into him again. Right now, I want to know more about the people around me. Okay, so we're at our next important choice here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can either say, is working for the SP hard, or what are you trying to protect?
Mm-hmm. I mean, the second question seems kind of suspicious, but I'm not sure. What do you think?
So I don't really remember what the right choices are for a lot of these. So it'll be me kind of going blind. Like that, the positive of me having a terrible memory is that...
You're going blind?
Yeah, I'm going blind. I can't see.
Oh no.
Oh no. You hate to see it or not see it, I guess.
Start a GoFundMe for
Yeah.
eye operation.
Like for me, as I said, I don't really remember the exact right choices anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I would go with this one because this top one seems very like small talk,
Making
like
small talk,
yeah. Whereas she was like, I want to get to know the people around me, and this also kind of goes into a lot of the themes that the game's been kind of going for so far, with Sayaki talking to us about like why did we become police officers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like this is the one that I would personally pick if I was just like playing
Makes
on
sense.
my own without looking at a walkthrough or anything like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sure, let's go for it.
Okazaki, what are you trying to protect? The SP protects important individuals. Apparently he was protecting Yanagi's group, but I didn't know why. If that was just a pretext, then what was he really trying to protect? The question slipped out as I pondered this. Oh no! Was that too direct? But the damage was
definitely
done.
suspicious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okazaki's smile disappeared, and he watched me silently. Nobody would smile when they'd been questioned about their mission. What if he suspects me because of this?
何を守ろうとしてるのか。
Okazaki's gaze dropped, and he looked like he was asking himself the question. Even though it was a misguidedly blunt question, was it really such an unusual question for an SP officer to be asked? As I was nervously watching him, Okazaki suddenly looked up and was smiling.
特別なものだよ。
Huh?
俺が守るべきものはね、特別で大切でとても重くてかけがえのないもの。
The warmth in his voice felt to me like the task he described was very dear to him. he radiated unadulterated faith, a goal he wanted to fulfill at any cost. That was what I felt from his thoughts. I know this is just what happens on TV, but SP agents protect special people like VIPs, yes? Just in time, I managed to steer the conversation back on track.
そうじゃなきゃいけない。じゃなきゃ、俺が SP でいる意味がないから。
It's that important to him? I assume he took life more lightly. I had started to relax while talking to him, completely following his conversational lead. I had discovered that beneath his act was a more unshakable determination than I had imagined. Well, it only makes sense. As an SP officer, he risked his life for his job. As a fellow police officer, I knew that we affected the lives and deaths of other people, but I had assumed less of him. I was ashamed that I sold him short until now. I'm sorry.
どうして謝るの？
Well, I was prying into your job. I shouldn't have done that.
なんだ、気にしないで。ちょっとびっくりしただけ。誰を守ってるのかとか、どういう仕事なのかとか、そういうのだったら普通だけど、何を守ろうとしてるのかって改めて聞かれるとちょっと困るね。
You're right. I suppose that makes sense.
じゃあ、俺も聞いていい？君は何を守ろうとしてるの？
Huh? I didn't expect to have my question turned on me, so my thoughts ground to a halt. Shinjuku, which was ruled by fear, the people living in terror, my friends, relatives, and my brother Kazuki. And you're right. It's tough to put an answer to that question into words.
でしょ？
He felt that it was pointless to be in the SP if he wasn't protecting something important. Like him, I also became a cop because I wanted to protect something. I still do. I didn't want to lose the part of me that had worked to become a police officer. I feel the same way. The things that I'm trying to protect are very important to me.
そっか。
After that, we chatted about lighter things as we walked. Thank you for taking me home.
うん。またいつでも送るよ。
That would definitely be problematic. I was going to watch Okazaki leave, but I saw him watching me intently. What is it?
君は困ったことがあって、あの探偵事務所に依頼したんだよね。
Oh, yes, that's
俺
true.
もね、探し物をしてるんだ。彼らなら見つけてくれるかなって思ってた。
Past tense? Judging from the innocent smile on his face, whatever he was looking for seemed to be something he sincerely wanted to find. I was drawn in by his smile, which was able to warm even my heart. Did Yanagi's office help you find it?
もうすぐ見つかりそうかな。そんな予感がしてる。君に会った時から。
Me?
じゃあまたね。おやすみなさい。
Yes, I'm looking for love. Imagine going to a detective agency with them.
Yeah. Like you come up to the
I need you
detective.
to find me the perfect girlfriend.
Yeah. Before I could ask him what he meant, Okazaki spun around and left. Pew! He is quite a mysterious individual. But he was someone who took his job seriously and had a fiery determination to protect others. I also have to do my best to protect what is precious to me too. As I reflected upon Okazaki's attitude, I was reminded of my own personal situation as a police officer. When I got home, I could hear Kazuki laughing in his room. In the doorway, I noticed another pair of boys' shoes. I glanced up at the clock. It was long past midnight. I should send him home. It'd be dangerous to make him leave now.
Wait, home? He doesn't live here?
No, she mentioned
Oh,
that there's
the
somebody
friend,
else,
yeah.
yeah. Kazuki, could
That
I
makes
talk
sense.
to you? Without a reply, the door opened and Kazuki's irritated face peeked out.
何？今友達来てんだけど。
I love Kazuki so much. I know that, but is your friend's family okay with it? Did you make sure to tell them so they know he's safe? Kazuki clicked his tongue and glared at me.
大丈夫だから放っておいてくんない。
Alright.
He's going through a rebellious phase. He tried to close the door, but I stuck my slipper in before he could. Ouch! That's not all right. His parents might be worried, you know. Just tell me whether you called them or not.
うるせえな。大丈夫だって言ってんだろ。
Alright.
I saw somebody behind Kazuki.
It's his boyfriend.
Yep.
こんばんはお姉さん。遅くまですみません。
Ah, Akito. Good evening. Akito was Kazuki's best friend. Well, that's what I assumed he was because he came over so
Uh-huh.
It's dangerous to go out at this hour, so I don't mind if you stay the night.
あ、すみません。じゃあ泊まらせてもらうって親に連絡しておきます。
Like, officially, they are just best friends, but I think everybody in the fandom is like, nah, there's more going on there. Yeah, please do that.
もういいだろう。じゃあな。
Kazuki kicked my slipper out of his doorway and it caroomed off the hallway wall.
Caromed? What the fuck?
I don't know what that means.
No.
Like, I'm just imagining, like, he slams his foot out and then the slipper just goes pew.
He just bounces all the walls.
With a tiny sigh, I slipped my foot back into the slipper. I organized the discarded mass of shoes in the entrance, thinking of Kazuki. Kazuki went to a high school within Shinjuku. He persuaded our parents to let him go to school here, provided he'd stay with me, and left our distant hometown of Niigata. I'm sure Mom and Dad are worried. I contact them every once in a while. Wanting him to stay as safe as possible, I once suggested to Kazuki that maybe it'd be a good idea to stay home and not go to school. But he just said, "Are you kidding me?" in a really threatening tone.
Teenagers.
Yeah. Discouraged, I went into the living room and plopped down on my bed. I absentmindedly turned on the TV, where the X8 incidents were dominating news coverage. While pondering life in general, my thoughts drifted to Kazuki. He didn't used to be that way. I came to Tokyo right after I graduated. When I lived in Niigata, even if we didn't get along, we could at least speak normally. But ever since he started staying here, our relationship has worsened. Day by day, it felt like we were drifting further and further apart. I wish we could go back to how things were. Groggily turning...
Sad.
What was that?
That's sad.
Yeah. Groggily turning, I felt the foreign object on my neck and snapped back to reality. That's right, for Kazuki, I need to uncover the truth behind X Day. I couldn't simply count on Yanagi's group. I wanted to contribute too. I got up and picked up the remote to shut off the TV.
では、次のニュースです。若者から高い支持を集めている衆議院議員の
Why does the news anchor look like she's from Castlevania?
Actually, this is not the news anchor. This is the person they're talking about. This is the government star.
That makes more sense.
A young politician and the son of the current prime minister, he is seen as a talented, up-and-coming politician who has revolutionary ideas and many supporters. He's been a major proponent of safety within Shinjuku. Oh, I remember him. When I was back at the academy, he had some really passionate
本人
supporters.
も新宿内にいる身として隔離された新宿区への安全保障を呼びかけると
I
と
mean,
も
he still looks like he's from
X
Castlevania.
デー事件に
Yep,
言
he
及
does. I don't know how the government does things, but it seems like the police aren't the only ones having problems.
警察の落ち度と司法の在り方について批判した発言が問題沙汰にされており
Right now, I need to worry about myself. Also, it should have been his. I don't know why they wrote her there.
Yeah, I was like confused because
Yeah.
like, what, did
It's
I
a
get
guy.
it wrong? Or
Yeah,
did
it's
I
a
get it wrong?
guy. It's a guy. It's a guy.
Like, I get it with his art style. It's easy to make the
Yeah.
mistake, but
Yeah. Scolding myself for getting distracted, I turned off the TV. I'll be starting my investigations tomorrow, so I should review the cases.
If this was an otome game, I would also have assumed that that person was female, but
Yeah.
in an otome game.
Yeah. I booted up my PC to go over some articles about the X-Day incident. Okay, this is when we learn about each of the incidents, I think. Which one should I review? Yeah, here we go. So we'll just go all down the line, basically.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a chance to look at all of them. So the April and May incidents.
I'm gonna grab a snack, but I'm listening still. So.
Okie doke. Police abduction incident, April 4th, 20XX. It all began with this video. A video on the Shinjuku Station TV showed a group of what appeared to be tied up police.
汚れた日本を再生するため、これより X デイへのカウントダウンを開始します。
The altered voice disclosed a list of scandals the four people were accused of. Collusion with organized crime, embezzlement, trumping up evidence, excessive use of force, bullying fellow officers into
彼
suicide.
らのような犯罪者には裁きを下さなければなりません。我々は世界の断りを再生させる。弱者が虐げられるだけの世の中を変えるのです。
Viewers wondered if it was a tacky commercial. The indifferent voice echoed through Shinjuku. Then, the video displayed these words.
X デイへのカウントダウン9。
The gruesome countdown mentioned at the start of the video had begun. Officer abductions and murder. May 4th. The officers in the disturbing video hadn't been found and the situation turned dire. This was broadcast online, unlike in April. After that short intro, gunshots rang out. When judgment was rendered, the voice spoke. The police arrived far too late. The death of one officer was confirmed. However, many others' bloodstains were found. The other 3 victims had just vanished. The April X Day incident has been added to materials. May X Day incident has been added to materials. Which one should I review? So next we do June incident. So that was like the incident we saw from the beginning of the game. That's kind of what started it all. So, June incident. Middle school explosion. June 4th, an explosion occurred at a middle school in Shinjuku, killing all members of a class. They were doing a science experiment. They were doing a science experiment at the time, so it was initially ruled an accident. However, the damage caused I keep just ruining all my words with this. However, the damage caused changed the ruling. The Roman numeral VII, so 7, was drawn on the roof of the building, and a coin was formed. What is happening to me right now? Too much reading. And a coin was found.
Too much reading, not enough sleep.
Yeah. And a coin was found at the site, identical to the one in the May crime. It's likely linked to the April and May cases. No fingerprints were found at the scene, and all people present perished. So much is still unknown about this case. Explosive residues were found, but they were from easily obtainable components. A school festival had been held recently, so determining suspects has been difficult. Afterwards, the group calling itself Adonis uploaded a video in the mid-June.
ですが、これは無差別殺人ではありません。死亡した全員が罪人です。どれほどの罪を負っていたか知れば、皆さんにも納得していただけるでしょう。我々アドニスは悲しみを救済するため、罪人への裁きを続けます。X デイへのカウントダウン。7、
Yeah, I feel like killing a whole school class is not gonna win you any favor with the general populace. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no matter what they did, like these are still middle schoolers.
Yeah. Not even high schoolers, middle
Yeah.
schoolers. It's,
A dedicated investigations office in Shinjuku Station was set up to handle X-Day cases. Okay. So now we have that. So now July incident. Stalker murder. July 1st. A man who had been stalking a woman was killed by a bystander. The assailant was caught on the spot. Many witness accounts thought that it was a legitimate act of self-defense. However, the assailant was previously taken into custody as a suspect for the May X-Day incident, so he's currently in detention. Afterward, the Roman numeral VI and another coin were found at the victim's residence. Both the assailant and the stalking victim were suspected to have ties to Adonis, but no evidence was found to corroborate this. In early August, Adonis released a video declaring the incident part of the countdown.
正当防衛なのに一時でも身柄を拘束される理不尽だと思いませんか彼は一人の女性を救ったヒーローだというのに女性は昔からストーカー被害を訴えていたにもかかわらず警察は取り合わなかった我々アドニスはこの悲しみを見過ごせず被害者に代わり裁きを下しました X デーへのカウントダウン6そして今月はカウントダウン5近々再び裁きが下ります
I feel like that's cheating to be like, oh, there was 2, so here's 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the next incidents. So we have the August. Online gamer serial killings. This incident had the most victims aside from the June middle school bombing and crumbled public opinion of internet users. August 2nd, 3 men were shot to death in Shinjuku. However, their locations in the city, times of death, and their ages were unrelated. However, the numeral 5 was left at each crime scene, in addition to the coin. The killings were declared related to X-Day. From August 5th to August 7th, 3 people were killed per day, making 9 victims in total. Including the first 3 victims, all of the deceased played the same online game. A thread that bound the victims was found. The police appealed for caution, but the game had millions of players across the country, and panic erupted nationwide. There were many victims, and obstacles like hackers attacking the game servers made the investigation extremely difficult. Then, on August 14th, 3 more players of the game were killed at different locations. All victims belonged to the Shinjuku Guild, and they were all Shinjuku residents. It was speculated that in-game bullying might have been what sparked these killings. There was a terrible fear that a large number of people had been complicit in the murders. On August 18th, a suicide victim was found who claimed to regret bullying others online. The person was not a resident of Shinjuku. In late August, another video was uploaded.
正義がないとおっしゃる方が多いようですね。あなた方は知らないだけです。彼らは殺される必要があった。裁かれるほどの罪を犯したのです。我々は未来の被害者を救ったのですよ。X デイへのカウントダウン。
The country was in fear of Adonis, yet distrust of the police mounted, mainly due to their ineffectiveness on the X-Days cases. Where do I sign up for Adonis? Heck yeah, Rolf. For now, the damage was limited to Shinjuku, but what if Adonis turned their eyes outward? If bullying in a video game warranted to death, what sort of sin would merit judgment next? Anyone could be next. This incident was the impetus for the Shinjuku Quarantine Act, as well as the repeal of the swords and weapons control law within Shinjuku. Yeah, next. September 7th. Another video was uploaded declaring that the countdown to X Day had reached 4 and displaying Adonis's signature coin.
そんな風に思ったことはありませんか？生まれてきたことが間違い、存在する意味がない、未来を望めない、そんな世界を作り出したのは誰でしょう？本当に不必要なのは誰で？絶望の色を生み出した人間にアドニスが正義の裁きを下します。X デーへのカウントダウン。
On the 7th of September, the hanged body of Ken Hachisuka, who lived alone, was discovered in his apartment by his girlfriend. The police believed it to be a murder disguised as a suicide. Only a Roman numeral was discovered at the scene, not the coin. The police firmly believed this to be another X-Day killing and investigated. It was discovered that another man visited the apartment on the day of the murder. The visitor's name was Yuki Tsunamori. He also attended the same free school as the victim, and they had interacted before. His fingerprints were found at the scene, and the police investigated him as a likely suspect. Tsunamori claimed to be a chosen one and had a coin like the others that were found. Analysis found the coin to be exactly the same as those found at previous X-Day scenes. The police arrested Tsunamori as an X-Day suspect and ceased further investigation. Then 1 month later, on October 7th, another video declaring the countdown had reached 3, displaying Adonis' signature coin, was uploaded to the internet. I love these little plushies of Yanagi and Ichika. They're in the background with Ichika crying tears of blood.
この世界から必要とされていない。幸せを望むことを許されなかった。この世に生まれ落ちたその時から。だから我々も捨てましょう。悲しみをつけ
Never mind, I'm out again.
Yeah.
Anti-bullying, okay, but this is sounding like some incel shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because that's like the problem, right? When it comes to a lot of these things, is justice is very much like a personal thing. You know, like we all have our different like boundaries, our different things that we consider important. So it's very hard to have like a universal justice system. And like it's easy to be like, oh, what if we just kill people that we don't like or whatever and just do that? And but then,
well, then everyone dies.
Yeah, everybody dies because how do you decide where the line is? Where do we draw the line? Like, of course, like if somebody does something super extreme, but most of the time there's a lot more gray area with a lot of these things. And the question is like, how do you decide whether someone deserves to live or die? And depending on who you ask for different scenarios, you'll get very different answers. One, I think, major scene that always kind of pops into my head from real life is there was like that whole story about that town that killed this guy who was like harassing everybody. And so they all collectively came together to kill him. And like, it's easy to be like, oh, why couldn't they have just gone to the police to deal with him? But the idea was that he had the police like in his pocket. Like, they tried putting him to justice and nothing happened, and it just went on for years. And so at some point they just decided enough's enough, we're gonna kill him. And of course, depending on who you ask, like, that was either the right thing or the wrong thing. And you'll get very different responses depending on who you ask about it. And there isn't really a truly correct answer. And so that's kind of what leads to, like, things like this, where, like, yes, on the one hand, I understand, like, the want to just, like, have something like this, just to take matters into your own hands and just do it yourself. But at the same time, like, if everybody did that,
it would just be the purge.
Yeah, exactly.
And different people have different ideas of what's right and wrong, but also, like, people lack context or evidence.
Yeah.
With mob justice, it's way easier to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Because the police makes a lot of mistakes, obviously, but if you don't have the resources that they have, you're gonna make even more mistakes.
Yeah.
This is like a pretty high-profile case in India, like a while back, where like someone was like on trial for rape, and while he was still he was in like jail, and the large mob just broke him out of jail so that they could lynch him.
Yeah.
But then later he was acquitted.
Yeah.
Turns out he didn't do it, and then killed him for nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
It's pretty,
Yep, that's the struggle. That's why it's...
I wonder how those people feel who participated in that mob afterwards.
Yeah.
When they found out that they'd been wrong.
Yeah. Probably not good. Not good at all.
Yeah.
That's why we need, like, systems and all that stuff, is because... And the thing is, no matter what, there's always going to be issues, because we're human beings, and of course anything we create is going to be flawed. But it's still better than just leaving it up to random people to decide.
Or just acting on emotion and some shit they heard
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Investigations was concerned about the September video, but the suspect, Tsunemori, was already in custody. Also, no new X-Day style events had occurred and no deaths were reported. However, the day after the video went live, Tsunemori hung himself in his cell. The police had lost their only X-Day lead, and the truth was shrouded in darkness.
Well.
Got that. Which one should I review? We have one last one to review. This one. Disguised traffic accident incident. November 5th, a day after my birthday. A collision between a truck and a motorcycle officer led to 2 fatalities. This was initially reported as an accident, but surveillance camera footage revealed that the traffic lights had been manipulated and the incident was reclassified as an X-Day event. The Roman numeral 2 was discovered at the scene, and one of the victims was holding the signature coin, but this was not publicized. An investigation treating this as part of the X-Day cases was started. After this, Adonis uploaded another video to the internet. And also, here's another thing, again, like, when you have an organization, as I said, every person has individual opinions, and it's all going to be unique, because we all are, unique individuals with unique experiences. There's nobody that has the same exact experience as I do, for instance, or anybody else. And so we all have our different opinions based on that, and I feel like having, like, the contrast between the October and the November incidents kind of showcases that, because we're already seeing that there's some, like, differences in opinion. Because in the October incident, it was very much like, talking about, like, oh, how some people feel like they should never have been born, and that's awful that you would think that. And then this one is like, some people exist that should never have been born. It's like, this is kind of contradictory.
It feels like a very disjointed organization so far. Feels like they're just a group that sort of facilitates people into taking revenge for certain things. Rather than really like doing it themselves, maybe.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already reviewed everything. Let us leave. That's enough for now. I think this is enough for now. We've looked at everything. Even for a summary, there was much to digest. Even if I decide to undertake this on my own, I would have no idea where to start. I need some direction. Oh, and if someone is working the month's cases, we'll be working on it together. The letter said that I needed to grasp the truth of X-Day. In that case, it might be quickest to investigate them as a whole with Yanagi. He was also sympathetic about the caller. Inamoto is looking into April-May, I think. The first case, eh? The April-May incident started it all. There might be some good hints there. I had a personal interest in August when the quarantine and weapons policy were enacted. Sazasuka's on August. I wonder if we'd really cooperate, though. Next was... That just leaves Shirashi. Shirashi was scary in his own unique way. Out of the whole group, he was the only person who was openly enjoying my situation. He had a unique way of viewing my caller. He saw it as a source of great amusement. Besides, Shirashi is the one who could most easily plant the letters. If someone at the station slipped the letter into investigations files, I had to be wary. However, the most obvious suspect wasn't some shadowy mole, but rather Shirashi. If I'm going to investigate Shirashi, I'll probably have to work on the case he has. He moved between the police and Yanagi's group. It was odd that he'd decide to reopen the already solved September case. I'm so confused. Further complicating things, I'd have to work my day job while secretly investigating. I'm terrified, but I have no choice. Okay, I've got a handle on what I have to do. I had a rough idea of what I'd have to do starting tomorrow, so I sighed in relief. Speaking of which, they told me to go to Sakuragawa for help getting intel out. I'll go see her tomorrow. The next day, I was on call during my lunch break, and I could be summoned at any time. Before I eat, I should go see Sakuragawa in forensics. Yeah, let me save real quick. So here we see we have like a little map to visit places.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So many floors.
Yep. So we gotta go to forensics. I took a deep breath in front of the door to forensics and knocked. Excuse me. I opened the door and spoke to a man sitting just beyond it. Good afternoon. I'm Ichika Hoshino from the SRCPO local office. Is Kotoho Sakuragawa in?
お疲れ様です。ちょっと待っててください。おい、桜川。
A woman seated at a desk further inside reacted to the call out. She was the woman I had seen in the photo. This was definitely Sakuragawa.
なんだよ。今手が離せな。
There she is.
She's cool.
Yeah. Sakuragawa's eyes went wide when she saw me, and she approached me right away. Good afternoon, I'm...
知ってる。ついてきな。
Oh.
With that curt response, Sakuragawa exited the room immediately, without even waiting for me to do likewise. I anxiously hurried after her. She took me to the roof. We would obviously be less likely to be seen or overheard up here. Sakuragawa narrowed her eyes and scouted the area and spoke when she thought it was clear.
Then she pushed you off the roof.
Yep.
柳さんがやってる探偵事務所に X デー事件についての依頼が来たんでしょ。調査協力者を警察に送り込んだから世話してやってほしいって。ほんと迷惑な話だよ。
I'm sorry. Sakuragawa shot a doubtful and disapproving glare at
あん
me.
たさ、バレたらクビだって分かってんの？
I I thought this was just a meet and greet, but Sakuragawa cut right to the chase. She was testing my dedication to the investigation. I thought I'd been doing everything I could each day to protect Shinjuku and its citizens. I thought that the X-Day investigation was in a distant, different world than mine, but now I was right in the thick of it. I want to do everything that I can. So now we gotta decide what to say next.
Let's go with a very dramatic answer.
This one?
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, getting involved with Yanagi's investigation would be a violation of my duties, but my real duty, the duty of the police, was to protect the safety of Shinjuku Ward. As a police officer, I wanted to protect whoever I could. If I was paralyzed by my position or methods, then I'd never make any progress solving the cases. Even if that means I can't stay on the force. I made up my mind and looked straight at Sakuragawa. I came to you with all of that in mind. It might be against regulations, but I will do my duty as a police officer. I swear that I'm determined to do that. When I made my intentions clear, Sakuragawa's eyes went wide, and she dropped her gaze.
そこまで言われて断ったら、私の方が悪者みたいじゃん。
She looked up at me, sighing.
わかった。できる限りは協力するよ。ま、笹塚と約束もしてるしね。
Really?
でも、私に不利になることまでは協力してやれないからね。
Of course, that's only natural.
アドバイス程度のことしかできない時でも、絶対文句は言わないこと。わかっ
Yes. She relented, perhaps because of how vigorously I was nodding.
ま、何かあったらおいで。空いてる時間なら対応してあげる。
Sakuragawa finished with a weak smile. I bowed deeply to her. Thank you so much.
やめて、大げさすぎ。
Her face scrunched up in displeasure, and she folded her arms, sulking. I'm glad she seems like a good person. I was new, so I didn't know many people here. It was gratifying to know her when I had no idea who I could rely on in this situation. The next steps depend on me. I have to do my best not to trouble her too much. Then, my phone vibrated in my pocket. Yes, this is Hoshino.
No.
Oh, snap.
住宅街での犯行らしくてな、現場が混乱してる。特防にも応援要請が入った。すぐに向かうぞ。
Yes, sir. I hung up the phone and saw Sakuragawa running for the rooftop exit. I was sure she had orders to move out too. I have to hurry. I put my phone away and started running.
X-Day をお知らせします。私たちは忘れてはならない罪を生み出した者のことを。
Quick, take their stuff.
これがゼロになったとき、死刑が執行される。救済方法はこのカウントダウンがゼロになる前にここに警察がたどり着くこと。早く助けて。死にたくない。死にたくない。死にたくない。
Well.
Oof. On the way to the scene in a squad car, I watched a video while listening to Mochita explain the situation.
It's too bad, because you're gonna die.
Yeah, the police kind of suck, so womp womp.
We'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah. It's actually the oven timer. They put a cake in, yeah. It's like the timer goes off, he's like, oh oh, and you just hear beep.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, we're fine.
It's just a surprise
Yay.
party. Yeah.
And then they take the cake, they take a bite, and it turns out it's poison, so he dies.
Oh no. You think everything's over, you take a bite, and then like fucking Jigsaw comes up. You just eaten poison. You have 24 hours. Oh.
The video had been sent to the public email address of the Shinjuku PD a few hours ago. Unlike past statements, this had been sent only to the police for some reason. Apparently, Investigations HQ had enforced a gag order and were analyzing the video. An official ban on disseminating certain information.
警察の動きを犯人側に知らせないための慣行令ということだが、まあ、今や捜査員の数も増えて、どこから漏れるかわからないのは事実だがな。
Mochida seemed somewhat annoyed by Investigations HQ's behavior, as if they suspected that there was someone in the station working with Adonis. But that could be the truth. I softly touched my collar out through my clothes. Any information I'd heard previously could be transmitted to the criminals. I have to tread very carefully. The gravity of the position I was in chilled me to my core. We were almost at the scene. A text? I suddenly moved my phone so that Mochida couldn't see the screen. It's from Sazasuka. Actually, do you want to voice act, like, try attempting to voice act the text?
The text.
Yeah.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, stop by on your way home. It was a short message, but the implication came through loud and clear. That counter had 2 hours on it, but the video was sent a few hours ago. I think it might have been two... I don't know, honestly. Yeah, he's already dead. Goodbye.
Yep.
Sazasuka and the others had probably already caught wind of this.
Yeah, I overlooked
crime.
this email from yesterday, and
yeah, the guy's freaking dead. You know, that's actually what would happen in real life. If it was sent by email...
The guy's just sitting there. Oh, I hope they'll show up soon. And meanwhile, nobody's even read the email
Yeah,
yet.
everyone's like busy, and then they were like, okay, finally, no, it was sent to the spam.
Yeah.
No one checks the spam. They
Oh,
were
no.
like, oh, and the announcement comes up, and they'll be like, the police didn't do anything, and the police will be like, what? We didn't receive an email. Oh, it was in our spam folder.
Oh no, I saw it. I just thought it was a stupid ad or something.
Thought it was one of those like help, I am the Nigerian prince. Yeah. Even though the gag order is in place, they don't seem to have slowed down at all. Terrace is like, did you get my email? Did you check your junk folder? And I was like on the phone, like noticing that there hasn't been any activity. They're like, hello, check your emails. Feeling strangely impressed, I closed my phone.
As per our previous email. Yeah.
Investigators and detectives were all over. Curious bystanders were also gathering at the scene. Pandemonium was an apt way to describe it. We showed our police notebooks and entered the apartment where the homicide had occurred.
これまでの事件と比べると異例の速さで現場を特定はできたようなんだが。
But we were still too late. We heard that the victim had already been killed and the suspect had fled the scene before the police arrived.
It really is like that, yeah.
Yep. Wait here. Oh wait, no, that's him. Yes, sir.
ちょっとそこどいて、邪魔だよ。
Ah! Sakuragawa entered the room wearing a forensics uniform. Her tense expression relayed the severity of the crime to me.
森岡さん、死亡時刻絞れました。
どうだった？
捜査員が現場に駆けつける10分から20分ほど前とみられます。
一歩遅かったか。
It's like some guy is in charge of the emails. Like, yeah, I saw it come in, but I was about to take my lunch break. So I forgot about it.
I mean, I guess that's why they sent it to the like whole group of people, so that at least somebody would see the email. Up to the oh my gosh.
間に合わなきゃ意味がない。被害者を出してしまった以上、手放しで喜べる状況じゃないぞ。
心得ています。だからこそ、些細な情報も見逃せません。そのためにわざわざ現場に来たんでしょう。
無駄死にはさせない。
ええ。
桜川、被害者の身元は判明したのか？
田中悟、34歳。この部屋の住人で一人暮らしです。現在は無職。元はゲーム開発会社勤務。プログラマーだったようですね。
I listened to their exchange, making sure to stay out of the way. If they'd located the scene just a bit sooner, this could have been prevented. I was sure that
He was a game programmer, he probably had it coming.
You know, I was sure that the investigators felt that frustration more than anyone else here. Hey, Pond, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I love ya.
Hello.
Welcome. I knew how it felt to be toothless. People's lives depend on my actions. Investigations aren't that simple. Personal actions or not, I would bear that burden. If I wasn't in a collected state of mind, then someone clapped me on the shoulder.
俺たちは周辺封鎖の手伝いと
You got
近
clapped.
隣住民への説明だ。
Yep.
犯行時刻からすると、まだ犯人が近くに潜んでいる可能性も高い。取り逃がさないように慎重にな。
Yes, sir. After we set up the cordon and talked to the neighbors, we were told to gather information. Time flew by in a flurry of activity. I realized that it had gone dark. Oh! What? I guess we're on his route.
Wait, what?
I don't know how that... I thought there was another choice. I guess I misremembered.
Oh, wow. I thought it would be like you pick a specific, but it's like just the normal responses already lock you into a route.
I guess so, because I thought there was a time where we could make a choice. Maybe because we answered too many times in his favor that... Hold on, I need to check. I need to double check this. Okay. Because I'm shocked. I feel like I remember there was like a moment where we would go in and decide which case to pick.
Yeah, you pick a case and that's a route, right? Yeah.
That's what I remember. I have like a distinct memory of this. So I'm like shocked that this is where we ended up. Hold on. I was not expecting this at all. Oh, okay. No. No, wait. Nope. We're here. We're in case route. Never mind, I guess.
What the fuck?
Wait, I need to check. I'm checking
Seems like
this.
an error.
Oh my gosh.
Seems really strange you have so little choice in the matter.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so yeah. We're on his route. So yeah, this is like another option. Like this is again goes to my sort of dislike of Japanese otome games, because Western otome games kind of do go through a different way where it's like you can answer various ways and still, you know, pick a route, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to kind of role play your own character. Whereas Japanese otome games focus more on having to say the exact right things, which means you can't just say whatever. And so I guess but it's okay, I need to say this. It's still weird that we got thrown into this route. The reason I say this is because we did say the right thing so I guess the game must have like a coin flip or something, or like a series that they decide, okay, like if there's a tie, there must be a way that they decide it, because we should have had a tie. Because we made the right response to Sazasuka, and we also made the right response to Okazaki. So we both made the right responses to the two of them, so we could have gone on either route, and like according to that. But apparently the game has like a preference for Okazaki, because we ended up on his route, I guess. Yeah.
And Okazaki is which one again? Is that
the SP officer guy.
Okay.
Because basically the right thing to say to Sazasuka is, "Do you suspect me?" Which we said.
Yeah.
And the right thing to say to Okazaki is the "Have you found something to protect?"
Right.
And we did say the right thing to Mineo, and the other routes aren't open yet.
I see.
So obviously we had like a right choice. We answered correctly for both Sazasuka and for Okazaki, but it just threw us into Okazaki's route. That's so weird. I have like a memory of being able to choose, but I guess never mind.
This is the route that I was gonna go for anyway. So
yeah, it was. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, for me, those two are definitely fave routes for me. Mineo's route is like boring to me. Like they have good like banter, but in terms of like actual plot, not much happens in Mineo's route. He's like the, you know, like the basically when people do walkthroughs and they say like, here's the order that you should play the characters in, Mineo's always first because he gives the least amount of lore to the story. Anya, what was the name of that game?
It's Your Turn to Die, right?
Yeah, Your Turn to Die. That's exactly it. Also, hi, Doodle. Welcome to the stream. I love you so much.
Hello.
But yeah, it is Your Turn to Die. Death game by majority is what it is. Which I'm still waiting for it to get updated so that we can continue playing it.
Oh, right, it wasn't finished. That's true.
Yeah. I love you more, Doodle.
It's the first game we did together.
Yeah.
Hello.
But yeah, this is still so weird how they did this.
Yeah.
Because
it feels so arbitrary.
Yeah, like as I said, we had points for both him and Sazasuka. Like we had points for both of them, and so it was equal amount of points. So obviously they just decided to throw us into Okazaki's route for no reason other than, well, they have to go with somebody. So I guess it's him. I mean, it works out, but it's still very weird. I was not expecting that. That was a shocker for me. Well, there we go. We're on Okazaki's route then. Well, at least we've entered a route now.
Yep.
Okay. So this will be him. And I think I'll just leave it off for now still, because I don't feel like going in and changing the settings. But next time, definitely, we'll start without any voice acting.
Alright.
Oh, Sleepy Sama is planning on playing the game. Yeah! Absolutely, it's so good.
Cool.
Soon it would be
I
midnight.
don't know what it is, but
Like Sleepy Sama is. Oh, you're saying you don't know who that is? Yeah.
yeah.
Sama is like one of the main people who was part of like the Chateau group that I was a part of, the Sleepy Chateau. And now part of Memoria Manor, which I'm also a part of, at least the server. And so, like, mutual streamers who follow each other. Very friendly.
In the same cult, I get it. Alright.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And this I think is, well, yeah. I walked through the streets of Shinjuku alone. After we finished interviewing witnesses, I returned to the station and filed in a report. The only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me and I walk alone. Ba-na, ba-na, ba-na. I could sing the whole song, honestly. I know the whole song. That honestly, like, my music style, like, my favorite kinds of music is like, I kind of like chill electronic music, a lot of ballad stuff, some K-pop and some J-pop and some Vocaloid, and finally I love punk rock that I is introduced in middle school and still love to this day. I never moved on from it. My whole body was racked with fatigue. I just want to go home and rest. Still, I also want to know what Sasasuke and the others at the office managed to learn about this incident. I whipped myself into shape and began hurrying to the office. When I arrived in front of the office, I stopped in my tracks. Someone's collapsed. I'd seen the figure of someone collapsed in an alleyway. Are you okay? As I rushed over in surprise, I was even more shocked when I saw his face. Okazaki? Yeah, it's so good.
In an alley.
His eyes were covered by an eye mask, but from the rest of his appearance, it was definitely Okazaki. An eye mask? I leaned in to get a better look at Okazaki. Yeah, funny place for a nap.
This guy can sleep anywhere.
Yeah. His rising and falling breaths were unmistakably the breaths of a sleeper. No way, he fell asleep here, of all places. I reached out to shake him awake, but my hand stopped just short of touching his shoulders. Actually, it would be better if he didn't see me. I'd be in trouble if the police found out about me. It'd be best to steer clear of him. But I can't just leave him here. Okazaki? I tried calling him in a quiet voice, but he showed no signs of waking. Okazaki!
Well, we tried.
Yeah, we tried. Goodbye. I raised my voice louder than before, but he still didn't wake up. What now?
Shoot him.
I spun around to face the unexpected voice from behind me. There was a man standing there.
Man?
In this world? I didn't notice him at all. Because of my job, I tend to be pretty good at noticing people nearby. But he was able to approach from behind, and I completely failed to notice this man until he spoke. Senpai? I reflexively spoke and was met with a smile. Saying that, the man rolled up his sleeves. He also drew a handgun from his holster.
Oh my god.
What? Okazaki was up in a flash, and he unleashed a lightning-quick spinning roundhouse kick. The gun was knocked out of the other man's hand. The man lost his balance, stumbled even further, and went down with a crash. My eyes couldn't keep up with how fast that takedown had been. What? What's happening? Doodle's like, Pog.
あれ
何
吉成くんだったんだ。ごめん。
ひどいっすよ先輩。っていうか途中で俺だって気づいてたでしょ。せめて否定してください。
吉成くんなら避けられるかなって。殺気はないって分かってたし、つい。
Women want me. Fish fear my lightning fast roundhouse kick.
Oh boy.
I was still flabbergasted as I saw Okazaki casually brush the dirt from his uniform with a pleasant smile. I knew that SP officers were physically impressive, but that's some big dick energy right there. The gap between my expectations and reality was pretty shocking.
Neko-san, konbanwa.
Okazaki smiled wanly, as if he had only noticed me there for the first time. He probably noticed me before. Despite how I found him, he had sharp senses. The fact that he reacted so casually was likely due to his personality.
猫ああ、この人が例の星野一花さんか。
Get doxed.
Did I introduce myself? No, I don't recall ever doing that.
自分は吉成秀明と申します。岡崎先輩とコンビ組んでて。
吉成くん。
いたたたたたた。先輩足なんで踏むんですか。
While I was confused by the greeting, Okazaki was angrily stepping on Yoshinari's foot.
ああ、俺もしかしてやらかしました？
No.
No.
Yep.
I noticed that Yoshinari had an SP badge on his chest too, which means
いやー、それにしても今日はいい天気っすね、先輩。
もう夜だよ、吉成くん。
It's nighttime.
そうですよね。そう、こんな夜中に女性の一人歩きは危ないんじゃないですかね、先輩。
He was clearly trying to change the subject desperately so. Still looking annoyed, Okazaki let out a sigh and nodded.
それは俺も思う。いくら銃を持ってても夜は危ないよ。吉成くんの言う通り、君は可愛いから。
はい、可愛いとまでは言ってません。
ね、吉成くん。
あ、はい、そうっすね。超可愛いっす。
I don't want to hear that it's dangerous to walk alone from a guy who falls asleep in alleyways.
Yeah.
More importantly, I absolutely had to be cautious of Okazaki. Yoshinari's early panic had been trying to cover up the fact that they both had figured out my name. Which means Okazaki already knows.
吉成くん、タケルくんたちの様子を見てきてくれる？
了解っす。あとはお若い人たちでごゆっくり。
After watching Yoshinari disappear, Okazaki smiled weakly.
彼の方が若いんだけどね。
Okazaki went quiet and we shared an awkward silence together. He was watching me. It looked like he wasn't sure how to break the ice. So you knew. Obviously you knew my name, but he'd probably also figured out my identity too. Okazaki nodded slightly with a troubled smile.
ごめんね。調べさせてもらった。立場上無視するわけにはいかなくて。
That much was obvious. To him, I was a strange woman who had approached the people he was protecting. Knowing that, I had no right to complain about either his caution or the background check. SP could request coordination with the police, so if he looked me up, he'd know in no time. No, I should be the one apologizing for misleading you about my identity. Let me reintroduce myself. I'm Ichika Hoshino from Shinjuku Police.
彼らに近づくのは仕事の一環?
I wasn't sure how to answer the direct question. So do we want to be honest or not?
I mean, I'm always in favor of honesty. But...
Yeah. It's still so funny.
But yes, it's not correct, right? It's not
yeah, it's
really your
not.
job.
Like, that would be the lie. Yes would be the lie. Actually. So we can kind of see this as our... Yeah, this is our status screen.
Cool.
Yeah.
We cannot say.
Yeah, I can't say. Right now, I had no idea if I should say yes or no. Even if I found a clever way to lie to him, it probably wouldn't work.
Yep.
And above all, I was very reluctant to lie to a fellow police officer. I can't say. After thinking it over, that's what I decided. Oh, there we go. Trust up. Yay! We did it. Woo! Okazaki's demeanor didn't change, and he smiled wanly at me again. One day.
じゃあ質問を変えるね。ね、君は警察官として動いてる?
Removing the collar was my top priority. In any case, my life was at stake. Still, I had a very strong suspicion that the collar would be a key to solving the X-Day incidents. And if I was the clue that would lead us closer to the culprits, then I certainly wanted to use that to its fullest extent. That was my conviction as a police officer. Yes. When I nodded, Okazaki seemed to smile in relief.
だったら大丈夫だね。
In other words, he wouldn't be able to overlook it if I was acting on my own rather than as part of my duty as an officer. That's fine. Okazaki, is your mission to protect Yanagi and his team? Is there some reason they're so valuable? After taking some time to reflect on the question, Okazaki's face turned slightly serious.
X-Day 事件が警察の体制に反感を持つ組織によるテロだとしたら、元警察の彼らにも危険が及ぶ可能性がある。特に彼らは在職時に能力を買われていた人材で、今は独自に X-Day 事件を捜査している立場でしょ。事件に巻き込まれる可能性が高いし、元は同じ組織だった彼らを放っておけないしね。
It was a plausible explanation, but he spoke like he was detached from it all. The SP's primary mission is to protect valuable people or regular civilians in great danger. Shinjuku had turned into a dangerous area, so there should be plenty of people in the city more important than Yanagi and his team. Moreover, it seemed bizarre to me that SP would task its valuable resources to address a potential threat to former officers. He's hiding something after all.
俺が守るべきものはね、特別で大切でとても重くてかけがえのないもの。
I could still clearly recall Okazaki's profound tone when he'd said that. Does he mean Yanagi's team? No, that's probably not it. The way he looked when he said that, he had to be referring to something else. Is he watching Yanagi's group in order to protect that other thing? Does he suspect them of being on the other side?
困らせちゃったかな。
Mystery.
Yeah, my expression must have given away the skepticism I felt. Okazaki shook his head with a bitter smile and spoke while looking up at the office building.
彼らを守る必要はあるよ。少なくとも今の俺にはね。
Who watches the watchman?
Yeah.
犯人と接触する可能性があるくらい 実力も捜査にかける熱意も本物だと思う。
It's just one guy. He watches all the Watchmen.
だからこそ俺は
He abruptly paused. His gaze was distant, and then it dropped. Okazaki?
だから俺は彼らともっと仲良くなりたいって思うんだよね。いい人たちだし。
Right.
守るべき人間としてふさわしいか。それを知りたいっていうのもあるかな。
Don't you have it backwards? He'd be charged with protecting people, and he didn't even know if they were worth protecting.
それから君ともね。
え？
君とももっと仲良くなりたいな。
When he said that, I grew wary again. I felt like I was being misled in several ways. While it might have been a compliment, I had no idea of Okazaki's true intentions, so it felt disconcerting. I felt I should keep my distance.
ね、もしかして事務所に用事があったんじゃない？
I finally remembered what I'd originally come here to do.
やっぱり。だったら俺も一緒に行くよ。
Huh? This is very bad. I couldn't speak openly with Yanagi's team if the topic of the collar was off limits. I could only imagine how upset they would be having Okazaki there. I'll be fine. I can get there on my own. I firmly denied him, but Okazaki just took my hand and dragged me along.
遠慮しなくてもいいよ。
I'm not being shy. Okazaki wouldn't let go no matter what I said. I eventually entered the office, half dragged. Nyum.
だからそもそも勝手に入ってくんなって何回言えばわかるんだよ。
Is that voice Enomoto?
照れなくてもいいんですよ、ミネオさん。この吉成秀明、たとえ槍が振ろうと四六時中あなた方を守ります。キリ。
That's right. Okazaki sent Yoshinari ahead first. I timidly stepped into the noisy room.
キリじゃねえよ。だいたい照れてねえし、迷惑だって言ってんだ。
ははん、ミネオさんはまだ俺の進化を分かっていませんね。
なんだそりゃ。
What might that be?
俺はこう見えてすっごく役に立つ人間なんです。例えばその本棚に隠してあるいかがわしい本、好きな子にバレそうになった時には俺がささっとさりげなく懐に入れたり。
Oh my god.
お前、俺の秘密をどこまで知ってんだよ。
あ、聞きたいっすか。
Oh no.
じゃあ奥のベッドの下にある DVD のタイトルは。
Oh my god. That's horrifying.
Doodle just said, Anya, would you still love me if I hit you with a lightning fast roundhouse kick? Heck yeah, I would. I would still love you.
From what I
Doodle.
know about Anya's taste, you'd love you more.
It was pretty obvious that Okazaki wasn't the only person that was viewed as a nuisance around the office. But they look like they're having fun. Maybe he actually gets along well with Enomoto. I had taken the opportunity to enter, so Enomoto noticed me gawking at the scene in the doorway.
お前、岡崎までなんで連れてきてんだよ。
厄介なのが揃ってない。
Yanagi's like, oh, my headache just continues to grow. Also, Nightbot's a liar. It's 100% love. Also, hi, Owen. Welcome to the stream. I love you so much. Yanagi emerged from behind the partition with an exasperated look on his face.
何考えてんだバカ猫。さっさと追い出せ。
Okazaki looked up from his computer to snipe at me. Or you mean Sazasuka. There's so many like weird translation errors in this. But yeah, Sazasuka looked up from his computer to snipe at me. Those are some painful stares. But Okazaki ignored the criticism and turned to Sazasuka with a raised index finger.
こら、タケルくん。バカ猫はかわいそうだよ。 せめて猫さんって呼んであげて。
Look, Neko isn't my name.
あ、そうだよね。だったら俺はちゃんと名前で呼びたいな。
My given name? Who's this light green head ass motherfucker? Doodle. And it's one of the love interests. My other fave out of all the love interests, Takeru. It's like, I like Okazaki and Takeru the most out of the love interests.
ね、いちかちゃんって呼んでもいい？
You flashed a smile that seemed so pure, my heart skipped a beat. Enchanted by that smile, I unthinkingly responded with downcast eyes. Sure, if you'd like.
いちかちゃん。
おいおいおい、ちょっと待った。そこ何ほのぼのしてんだよ。こら、そのボケボケ SP と和んでる場合じゃねえだろ。
岡崎、悪いがこいつと個人的な話がある。今日のところは
Bro looks like he just got out of the mad scientist factory.
No, that's the other character who's not here yet.
True.
Like literally a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's the Susakusa is the monster.
Yeah.
The other guy is Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's Frankenstein and he's Frankenstein's monster. His shoulders drooped a bit and he sighed quietly.
わかった。吉成くん、帰ろう。
また来るっす。次は差し入れ買ってきますね。もう二度と来んじゃねえ。
When they left, everybody in the room sighed heavily.
バカ猫、なんで連れてきやがった？
まさかお前ら。
Oh my god!
Oh, you're so annoying.
Edamoto, I'm gonna yeet you into Antarctica. I swear to God.
This man is the biggest loser.
And at all, I just spotted him downstairs.
God, I can't believe you actually did his route at some point.
I know. I explained what happened earlier and how it had been discovered. Like, you have to get all the routes. So, Shirashi's route unlocks after you do one route. So, like, when we start the game, we only have Mineo's, Takeru's, and Okazaki's routes open when we first start. The second route, Shirashi's route, is added as a possible route. So then we have 4 routes, though technically 3 since we would have finished a route.
Right.
And then once we get all of those routes done, Yanagi's route comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
要は首輪のことがバレなければいいんだ。管轄も違うし、今のところは巡回ルートに入ってるとでも言ってごまかすしかないな。
とりあえず電波調べた限りじゃこの部屋が盗聴されてるようなことはね。そもそもあいつら機械音痴だから盗聴器をつけられるような心配ねえけどな。
それより窓の外に張り付いて盗み聞きしてる可能性の方が高いだろう。
That happened before, even on the 5th floor. What's their image of those two? This wasn't the time to be imagining such things. I had a reason for coming here. So about today's incident, how much do all of you know about it?
笹塚が得た情報の範囲だが。
Summing up what I heard from Yanagi, we knew the crime occurred at the victim's residence. The murder weapon was a suppressed firearm, so the neighbors didn't notice the gunshots. The victim was currently unemployed. He was employed at a game development studio. I think his name was Satoru Tanaka. It matched everything I knew.
お前の方で他に得た情報はあるか?
According to statements from witnesses, the victim had moved in recently and seemed to have a nocturnal lifestyle. He also seemed to be afraid of going outside.
当然だな。いつ自分が次のターゲットになるか気が気じゃなかったんだろう。
You're saying that he anticipated that he would be targeted?
コインも一致したし、確定だ。どうせ容疑者はすぐ捕まるだろうけど、あとは俺が調べる。
Sasatsuka ignored my question and continued his report.
被害者の田中悟は8月の事件の発端になった例のネットゲームの開発者だ。
Eh? I turned to Yanagi in surprise. I now understood what Sasatsuka was getting at. So that's why he knew he might be a target. He must have been in constant fear. In August, many players of a popular online video game had been murdered. If Tanaka was part of the development staff for that game, he had reason to be targeted.
だが問題はそこじゃない。今回の事件で重要視すべきなのは、これまでの X デー事件とは毛色が違うことだ。
What do you mean? You think it might be a copycat crime?
そこからか
よ。Sasatsuka sounded disgusted with me, but I paid him no mind and looked at Yanagi.
これまでと同じように、現場にローマ数字やコインは残されていた。白石に確認したが、コインは例の特殊な作りのやつでな。模倣犯でないことは確実だ。
やっぱりわざとってことになるんすかね。くそ腹立つ。
そうだな。じゃなきゃ犯人側の行動に説明がつかない。
What do you mean on purpose? Once I confirmed that I still wasn't quite following along, Sasatsuka pointedly sighed very loudly.
操作しないと殺すって言われてんだから、足りない脳みそ使って本気で考えろよ。考えたところで使えないだろうけどな。
This man speaks so rudely. What a rude dude. I felt the blood rush to my face.
最低限の操作能力は知っときたいよな。お前はなんか不審に思う点とかなかった？
Slap him, yeah. Suspicious. What was different about this crime? What was different about the crime? I think it's pretty obvious what the difference is. Because they said...
Scope, yeah.
Yeah, it's the scope. Instead of it being, like, targeted to everybody, it was just the police. So this is the answer. Boop! First, the scope of the broadcast was smaller. The X8 crime so far had used publicly viewable videos to highlight police scandals and the inadequacies of the law. But for some reason, this video had only been sent to the police.
そうだな。じゃあ、なぜ警察に限定して送ったんだと思う？
Provoke, maybe? Makes more sense, I think.
Well, no, because the previous ones... Yeah, because the previous ones also were kind of provoking the police. So it seems like they only... Like, because they could have easily told everybody, but I think they only wanted the cops to know.
Makes sense.
They only wanted the police to know? Let's hope that's right. The rest got lost in the mail, yeah. It was actually sent to everybody, but most people just don't check their emails. I'm patting myself in relief after getting it right. Oh, thank God.
あっちの意図に挑発が含まれてるのは間違いねえけどな。動画の配信を警察内部に限定したのは、警察がすぐには一般公開しないと踏んでたからだ。さらに警察内部でも情報漏洩を恐れて、一部の人間にしか知らせねえってな。
つまり犯人は動画を見ることができる人間を一部に絞りたかったってことだ。
But all the others were shown across the nation. Why would they limit it this time?
そこをお前が考えて答えるんじゃねえの？
Yeah. They limited its release because it wouldn't be by accident. I guess they wanted to throw off the investigation. They wanted to derail the investigation, right?
そういうことですよね、柳先輩。
これまでは全国に動画を公開していたが、多くの人間の目に触れる分、寄せられる情報も多かった。映っている人、場所、物、 どんな些細な情報でも引っかかれば集まる。
ま、無駄な情報が多すぎても混乱するが、捜査側は情報が多いに越したことはない。
There was a specific reason why Adonis limited the release of the video when they usually wanted the general public to watch. Basically, they were afraid that the police would catch on too quickly.
そう。まあここまで言えばさすがに新人のお前でもわかるか。
But they still made a statement, knowing it could be a liability.
で、狙ったかのようなタイミングで、ギリギリ犯人が逃げた直後に警察が現場に駆け込んだ。
そして X デイ事件は単独犯じゃない。アドニスという組織ぐるみで行われている計画的な犯罪だ。星野、ここまでの情報で犯人側アドニスの意図をどう推察する？
They deliberately sent the video to the police. They had chosen a window that ran the risk of the culprit being apprehended. The first thing I could conclude was... I think the crime was poorly planned. Like, it seems very last minute. Like, the guy had to literally run out of there. So I think it was poorly planned.
Makes sense.
Was the crime poorly planned?
そういうことになる。
Okay, thank God. we're smart.
Yay.
Previous X-Day crimes were elaborately
Maybe
designed.
Sasakusa will respect us at some point.
Nah. We're not on his route, so he doesn't care. No unnecessary evidence was left at the scene. Suspects with apparent motive had unnaturally clean alibis. The crime scenes had nondescript video evidence, but this time, that was all different. Whether or not they had done it for the thrill, they'd been far too lackadaisical in their crime. If they were slower, they might have been caught, but they still made a video, which means...
何が考えられる？
They had prepared for that outcome. Even if they were caught, it wouldn't hurt Adonis. Rather, it might play right into their hands. Is that right?
ここまでたどり着くのにどんだけ時間かけんだよ。
ま、最初だしな。捜査経験ねえのにすぐ分かっちまったら逆にビビるし。
ここに来てあえて計画性の浅い犯行を起こした理由はまだ推測の域だが、駒を切り捨てにかかった可能性は高いな。
ま、今日の事件の容疑者はもうほぼ絞られてるはずだ。
ああ、おそらく近日中に捕まるな。
The conversation had moved past me again, and I thought hurriedly.
これだけヒントを与えても目的達成は揺るがないって自信があんだろう。だよな。首輪の向こうで聞いてるサイコ野郎。
I imagined a prick of pain to come from the caller in response to Sasasuka's abrasive challenge, but the caller didn't respond or inject anything into my body.
何にせよ、アドニスのやり方が変わってきているのは事実だ。指揮系統が入れ替わったが、内部分裂か。これも計画の内か。慎重に見極める必要があるな。
それがつけ入る隙になるかもしれないっすからね。
As Enomoto nodded spiritually, Yanagi muttered something.
白石が言うには、だいぶ前から変だって話だが。
っていうか、これ毎回やるのかよ。バカ猫への説明か。
はぁ？
根節丁寧に説明してやったところで、時間の無駄としか思えないんだけど。
What? Sasasuka's words struck a nerve. It was true I couldn't keep up with their discussion, and I was aware of my own limits. But you don't have to go and put it like that.
もともと8月は笹塚の担当だ。あとはお前に任せる。
了解。
Yanagi changed the subject without commenting on Sasasuka's remarks. I guess I should take his silence to mean that he agrees. It wasn't just Sasasuka. Yanagi and Enomoto also thought poorly of my detective skills. But if I could give them any details on what went on in the station, that was enough. That was the only reason I was here. It was a painful realization.
で、 お前はどうするんだ？どの事件を追うか決まったのか？
I looked up and blinked in confusion at the sudden question. It calmed me somewhat. I mentally reviewed everything I knew about the X-Day incidents. Says Asuka is right. This team had been pursuing the cases for a long time, so it was clear I was wasting their time by getting involved without knowing anything. The Roman numeral left at the crime scene today was 1. The last number would be 0. There wasn't even a month left until X-Day. What can I do during that brief time? My duty and the situation I'd been forced into. When I factored them both in, it was obvious. Compared to the rest of you, I don't have any outstanding talents, nor do I have much experience with detective work. But I want to help out in any way that I possibly can.
お前にできることなんかあんの？
I can listen to what people are talking about. When I say it cleanly, the three of them were clearly caught off guard. Yesterday, when I looked through the X-Day files, what jumped out to me was a person that was neither the victim nor the assailant. The victim in this situation was a woman who was once the victim of an obsessive stalker.
7月の事件のことか。
Yes, for a time, she was suspected to be involved in the murder of the stalker. She also suffered severe backlash from the public. People were alleging that she might have been stalked through some fault of her own. Her background was thoroughly checked, but no connections were found to either the terrorist nor the man who killed the stalker. After that, her description was excised from official documents. Whether or not she was connected to the incident, it had taken a heavy toll on her reputation. The police bear some responsibility for failing to stop the stalking in the first place. I wonder if I could meet her and ask her about what had really happened. Besides, nobody else is working on this case. I wouldn't waste the team's time, and I was sure my position would help me find some information. That was another reason I wanted to take this one. The assailant was arrested at the scene of the crime, and is currently still in detention. He hadn't tried to commit suicide like the detained September suspect did, and was still being held in a detention center. Whether it was actually self-defense is unknown. I want to learn the truth of this incident. After my lengthy proposal, the other three seemed to be slightly impressed.
確かに7月はその女性を中心とした事件であることは間違いない。一見するとストーカーをこじらせた人物が女性に危害を加えようとして返り討ちにあった。それだけの事件にも見えるが。
殺されたストーカー男の部屋からは X デー事件を象徴するコインが発見されてる。模倣犯じゃないのは確実だ。
つまりだな、これまで同様に計画性のある X デー事件だってこと。どうだ、わかったか？
Yes.
何偉そうに言ってんだ、単細胞。
うるせえな。新人教育っつったら俺の出番だろうが。
Brazinga!
バカとバカがくっついてくれた方が俺は助かる。
口やかましいワカメだなったく。つっても7月の事件の情報については俺たちもあんまり把握できてないんだよな。加害者が勾留中だからか、警察内部の動きもやたら鈍いみたいでさ。
Has Shirashi given you anything?
あいつは今9月の事件に夢中で他の事件に興味を示さない。
I see.
正直、お前が内部から情報を集めてくれるなら助かる。
Okay. With that, the meeting ended. It was late, so Yanagi decided he'd walk me home. Okay, so that we're doing that incident. But I think this is a good time to stop. So
Yeah.
let's save the game.
Kind of
and
nodding
call
off.
it. Yeah. And also I have to go to work in like half an
Yeah.
hour. So time to save. But yeah, I'm still surprised that we have on his route. I have like a memory of being able to pick which case, but I guess not. I guess she just decides.
Maybe
I
if you
had
already
like a
played through a couple routes or
I
something.
don't know. I may have just been thinking of like the time when you review all the cases and stuff. Maybe I was just thinking of that. I have no idea. But yeah. so next time we'll be continuing on with Okazaki's route. And you were saying that he was gonna be your choice anyway, out of all of them. So it all worked out in the end. Let's go.
I was doubting between him and Yanagi, but apparently you can't even pick Yanagi yet. So.
No, you can't. You have to beat all the routes before you can play Yanagi.
Yeah, dude.
I hate it when these games do that. It's like, but at the same time, I understand it because they end up putting all the lore in one route. Because it reminds me how, like, in Ebon Light, you can end up with, I forgot his name, blonde-haired dude. And because there's no, like, restrictions on, like, whose route you get on. But it's kind of, like, the worst route to do first because it reveals, like, all the secrets of the game. Like, you
he's
learn
the
everything.
nobleman whose house you live in, right?
Yeah, like, doing his route basically reveals all the secrets that don't get revealed in the other routes. So... And again, just like with Yanagi's, it kind of ruins the route a little bit because, like, it ends up being more focused on the lore rather than any romance progression. But it is kind of funny that you can just accidentally play the route that literally just tells you the whole story. And it's like, oh, well, guess we're done. We're done here. We did it. Woo. Everyone go home. But yeah, so I understand it to some extent, but that's why I also do feel like there are some games that kind of make it so that, like, the truths are kind of more spread out so that there's a reason to see all the routes, and I feel like that's, like, a better way of doing it than just putting everything on one route and locking that route. But whatever. They pretty much all do that. Even Lupin for Code Realize had the same, like, kind of the same issue. A bit better, because I felt like the romance was very well done for that route still, like, regardless. But pretty much all the secrets are still... And all the secrets are there. And it's also the only route that has, like, a definitive, like, good ending to it. Out of all in Code Realize. With all the other ones, there's kind of like an iffy sort of like bittersweet ending to a lot of them. His is the only one where it's like, okay, we did it. We actually did it this time. We solved the problem.
Yeah, it feels kind of like a false choice in that case if it's like... You can pick anyone you want, but only one is the right answer.
Yeah. And they're like, when it comes to things like with Code Realize, it's like, well, at least the guy that's the true route is the guy I like the best, so it kind of works out. But I always feel bad for everybody else who likes one of the other characters more. Or like I always remember the times where I play other games where I end up hating the true route and not, or like at least being indifferent to the true route, like in this game. And then that's kind of an issue then, because I'm like, I don't really care about the true route guy. But yeah. And sometimes the thing is, sometimes like the true route in games just isn't written as well as some of the other routes. Like there's been times where my favorite route in games have not been the true route, like so many times. And not just because, oh, this guy was my favorite, but because I would just think the writing in general is better in this route than in the other routes. But yeah. But anyways, I do gotta go. But thanks for joining, Rolf. I hope you're having a good time with it.
Yeah.
Hecky.
Let's see what all this terrorism is about.
Yeah, we'll find out eventually.
Great. See you.
Yeah, see you later, Rolf. I love you. Get some rest.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, and so, yeah. Oh, I did not mean to click. I did not mean to click. Ah, we gotta leave. Goodbye. That was unexpected. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for joining. Next stream will be next Saturday, of course. We'll finish up Terraria, modded Terraria, and then depending on how much time is left, we may play some League as a late birthday present for Wolf, and then we'll probably do some spooky games after that on like subsequent Saturdays. And then, of course, next Monday we'll be continuing on with this game until we beat Okazaki's route. Yee. But yeah, so thank you guys all so much for joining. I love each and every one of you so much. Let's see who we shall raid. Let's see who's live. Oh, Tilly is live. So we could play... we could raid Tilly. So let's do that. Playing Lords of the Fallen. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Lives Meeting and Doodle and Pond. I love you all very much. And Owen as well. I love you too. Thank you guys so much for joining. And thank you, Rolf, for hanging out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.